Other palace dramas, women fighting over one man. Her palace drama, a group of elite men competing for her affection. And they help build her empire. She wants not just the throne, but also an unprecedented jewel harem. The Black Wolf of Battle, the Lunar Immortal, the Blazing Sun Prince, the Golden Fox, the Sea God's Sapphire, all collected into her treasure chest. Ariana makes her entrance and instantly captures everyone's attention. Someone in the crowd gasps in admiration. They say she looks as stunning as ever today. Rumor has it countless nobles are lining up to court her. Beyond that, the men at her side are all incredibly handsome. Ariana complains that dressing up this much for an old man's banquet is too extravagant. Jasper reassures her it's a perfect chance to empty the noble's pockets. Rainard eagerly invites her to dance to relieve the banquet's tedium. Ignis immediately interrupts, claiming the first dance belongs to him. Bayuha suggests the moonlight is beautiful tonight, perfect for viewing from the terrace. Nathaniel reminds them to restrain themselves, lest the princess become subject to gossip. His companions tease Nathaniel for overthinking, saying he's too uptight. Ignis tells Nathaniel to loosen up a bit. Onlookers marvel at the princess's taste. Every man beside her shines like a jewel. Those in the know explain that's exactly why. They're called the princess's jewels. 1 year ago, a chamberlain announced Ariana's arrival at the palace. She curtsied elegantly before the emperor, congratulating the emperor, who symbolizes the empire's son. She praised her father's great military victory. His grace would spread even wider across the land. The emperor affectionately called her his lovely daughter, praising her as the most outstanding princess. First Prince Balthazar stepped forward, claiming to be moved by the emperor's great achievements. He requested to join the next campaign, vowing to take enemy heads. The emperor refused with a sigh, telling him to focus on his swordsmanship lessons. His sword instructor complained constantly. The first prince meekly agreed, his voice betraying his guilt. Ariana seized the moment to coax sweetly, saying she wanted to follow her father to war too. The emperor comforted her, explaining that battlefields are dangerous. She obediently agreed. Second Prince Hadrian wisely kept his mouth shut. Third Prince Cassius watched the fools argue with a cold smirk. The nobles gossiped that Ariana truly held the emperor's exclusive favor. What a pity she was just a princess and couldn't ascend the throne. Even the most incompetent prince still had succession rights. They even mocked her fiancé for not being royalty. Ariana silently cursed those fools. Dealing with backward thinking, old nobles, was exhausting. Only these gorgeous men could comfort her. She swooned over how handsome those men were. Once she became emperor, she could take consorts and have all the handsome men she wanted. With so many handsome men out there, she couldn't spend her life with just one. But the old nobles would surely mock a female emperor as improper. She must first eliminate the nobles and princes blocking her path, not just for her harem, but for the Aurelia Empire itself. She couldn't hand the nation over to ignorant, backward people. She flipped through a new magazine, fantasizing about handsome men falling from the sky. Suddenly, she thought of a plan, one that would let her collect handsome men while expanding her influence. She would create her own beautiful treasure chest. The next day, the first prince accused her of being arrogant because of their father's favor. Ariana countered that she hadn't forgotten the humility their father taught. The first prince bluntly said he saw through her ambitions for the throne. She immediately retorted that their father was in excellent health, and such words were ill-omened. The first prince mocked her, saying no one believed she could become emperor. Ariana shot back that his swordsmanship and imperial studies were both lacking. The first prince became flustered and furious, telling her to give up while she could. She sneered and asked why he bothered threatening her if he thought she had no chance. She coaxed teasingly, asking if he was scared of her. Dear brother. The first prince, both angry and embarrassed, turned and went to bed. Ariana resolved to accelerate her jewel plan. The emperor was delivering a victory speech. His voice was solemn yet passionate. He asked if everyone still remembered. That day, 8 years ago, did they remember the invasion of the Arcadia Islands and the lost territories and countrymen? But Oregon, god of creation, commanded them to reclaim what was lost. Through divine revelation, the territories returned to the Aurelia Empire, under the god's protection. The empire would forever bask in sunlight. Ariana marvels at what a profound speech it is. She steps forward to respectfully greet His Majesty Emperor Julian. The emperor immediately becomes warm, asking what she needs. Ariana states she has something to report. She heard this victory was thanks to someone who made a great contribution. She requests to personally pin the medal on this hero. The first prince immediately objects, accusing her of challenging imperial authority. The emperor sharply silences him, rebuking his audacity. The first prince is scolded into incoherence. The emperor deems the request no challenge to authority and approves it on the spot. Ariana respectfully thanks him for his gracious favor. The emperor summons Duke Brian forward. Ariana looks at him, secretly pleased her judgment was correct. Exceptional height, muscular build, and handsome features, and undeniable sex appeal. He's perfect as her first jewel. The master of ceremonies announces that by divine decree, the princess will conduct the medal ceremony. Ariana speaks, praising Nathaniel as a great and loyal subject. He is worthy of receiving the medal of the Creator God and its blessed glory. She bestows the medal upon him, commanding him to dedicate everything to the Empire. Nathaniel vows to offer his body and soul to the Empire. Suddenly, Ariana grabs Nathaniel. Nathaniel's heart pounds. Ariana bluntly states she wants to make him hers. She hints for him to come to her Dawn Palace tonight. Everyone present instantly shows shocked expressions. The hall erupts in commotion. The Emperor is utterly in disbelief. Nathaniel can't help but blush. Ariana admires her first jewel with satisfaction. That night, Nathaniel arrives as promised. He states he wants to clarify her proposal from earlier. Ariana smiles and invites him to have tea first. After several cups of tea, she finally reveals her true intentions to Nathaniel. Nathaniel looks at the alluring princess, but can't meet her eyes. Ariana says she wants him to become her exclusive possession. Nathaniel is shocked, hardly able to believe it. She laughs, noting this proposal sounds like something from a fairy tale. Nathaniel's family was facing ruin after their business collapsed. As the sole heir, he served the Emperor loyally despite knowing the battlefield's dangers. He became the Black Wolf of battle, an unconventional hero in the people's eyes. But foolish ministers saw him as a threat. But she won't let him fall into such a situation, because he is her precious jewel. She offers him political protection and power, as long as he dedicates everything to her. She asks if he has any hesitation about this proposal. Nathaniel answers without hesitation, none. Ariana smiles and asks for his final answer. Nathaniel solemnly vows to offer his every breath, every strand of hair, and his entire body to her. Ariana nods with satisfaction. She tells him that when he has free time, he can wait for her at her Dawn Palace. Nathaniel respectfully agrees. Ariana produces an object. Nathaniel looks puzzled. Ariana tells him to wear this collar while waiting for her. With a mix of tenderness and possessiveness, she asks if he's willing. From now on, he is her jewel and her pet. Nathaniel finds himself instinctively unable to refuse her. He agrees in a low voice, drawn to her desire, craving to be claimed by her. At the fencing hall, Ariana's sword thrusts straight at Baxter. Gasps ring out as Ariana's blade points at his vital spot. Baxter pants, hardly believing it. Ariana teases him with a smile, asking why he struggled so much. She says bluntly that she needs to finish the match quickly. Baxter sighs that her swordplay is deadly, and he has nothing left to teach her. Ariana laughs, crediting his excellent teaching. Inwardly, she muses that he's so easily flustered. Her maid Serena reminds Ariana she has a message. Duke Brian Nathaniel is waiting for her at their usual spot. Hearing this, a knowing smile flickers in her eyes. She immediately orders bath products with a gentle peach scent prepared. Her dress should be an off-shoulder style. Ariana hurries to find Nathaniel, her tone light and cheerful. Nathaniel respectfully greets Her Highness the Princess. Ariana toys with the collar, teasing that it looks quite nice. The more she looks, the more the collar suits Nathaniel. Nathaniel helplessly asks her not to tease him like this. Ariana laughs and apologizes, but still thinks it suits him perfectly. Nathaniel remarks that half a year has passed, and he worries she might grow tired of him. Ariana counters that he is her beloved jewel. Changing the subject, she asks about the task she assigned him. Nathaniel replies that everything is fully prepared. He recommends the second prince of Solaria Kingdom, saying he's well suited for the princess. Ariana scoffs, showing little interest. She finds most princes annoying. Ariana presses him on why he thinks the second prince is suitable. Nathaniel explains that what she needs most now is strong military power. He cites that historically, 80% of great rulers had powerful armies. The second prince, Ignis, is a top hunter and legion commander, though only the second prince, Solaria's military power rests in his hands. Ariana still feels these reasons aren't compelling enough. Nathaniel continues, explaining that Ignis is a national-level classified figure. 2 weeks ago, he accidentally revealed himself while reorganizing remnant troops, causing a sensation. Rumors about his appearance spread with it. He produces a sketch, explaining it was drawn based on collected rumors. After seeing the portrait, she bursts into laughter. She even wants to show it to the man himself. Conveniently, she needs to attend the national security procession. She decides to personally meet this prince, a dazzling jewel like the blazing sun. Solaria, the sun among the Aurelia Empire's allied nations. The king and first prince of Solaria welcome her from afar. Ariana thanks them, curtsying elegantly in greeting. First Prince Achilles stares in awe and invites her to the evening banquet. Achilles tries to say more, but the king interrupts and drags him away. Meanwhile, Ignis angrily rebukes his soldiers' pleas for mercy. His subordinate Abbas protests that they're not weak, he's just too strong. Hearing this, Ignis furiously asks if this is open defiance. Nearby, maids gossip that Ariana's beauty is astonishing. They guess she should already be at the banquet. Ignis is tempted, wondering if he should sneak a peek. Ariana slips out of the banquet, remarking that Solaria is indeed hot. She's eager to see that blazing jewel. She wonders why the second prince isn't at the banquet. Suddenly, someone jumps down from a tree, startling her. Ignis sees her and is instantly stunned by her beauty, like a masterpiece of the gods. So this is Ariana. Ariana glares at him, demanding who he is and why he appeared so suddenly. Ignis apologizes, but says flippantly that her beauty stunned him, so they're even. Ariana is displeased, finding him rude and smooth-tongued. Ignis apologizes again, amusement in his voice. Ariana doesn't want to waste more words and turns to leave. This makes Ignis's heart race. Her pride reminds him of a rose. Just then, a boss anxiously calls out for Prince Ignis. He complains that Ignis doesn't care about etiquette and the king will surely scold him. But Ignis tells him to report that he's found a woman worth removing his mask for. The banquet is in full swing when nobles suddenly begin whispering to each other. Through the crowd, the masked Ignis slowly appears. Ariana is puzzled, not understanding why the commotion started. Before she can react, Ignis is before her, greeting her respectfully. Ignis passionately confesses that he fell in love at first sight and offers her his heart. Ariana's heart jolts. Could the man she just met be the second prince of Solaria she was looking for, Ignis Casanova? The moment she looks up, she can't help but marvel that this man's chest muscles are even more impressive than Nathaniel's. She quickly snaps back to her senses, pleased that his approaching her saves her some effort. So she deliberately reveals to Ignis that she's been collecting something special lately. Hearing this, Ignis grows curious and asks what treasures she's collecting. Ariana says she's looking for the world's hardest and most beautiful divine talents, like jewels. Hearing this, Ignis says that in that case, she should definitely add him to her treasure chest, because whatever the princess wants, he's willing to annihilate all enemies in her way. Seeing the aura around him, Ariana marvels that such impressive presence wasn't built in a day. Conveniently, she's also interested in him. This falls right into her lap, so she solemnly asks if he's willing to enter her treasure chest. Ignis immediately declares with confidence that he'll definitely be the most dazzling jewel. Nearby, the first prince watches this scene, heartbroken. Meanwhile, in a corner, a mysterious woman silently observes everything. She silently schemes in her mind, planning to formally greet this princess soon. In the garden, Nathaniel curiously asks if she's already found the next jewel candidate so quickly. Ariana explains she had planned to go to Glycia, but unexpectedly heard about her target at a tea party. That person is Bayuha, a man from the western kingdom of Delansia. Hearing this, Nathaniel is surprised. So it's the captain of Delansia's direct special forces. Ariana nods and adds that Bayuha isn't nobility and rarely appears in public, but in Delansia, he's called the lunar immortal, a handsome man skilled in song and dance. Nathaniel warns her that Bayuha is the king's favored direct general, and obtaining him won't be easy. But Ariana is confident. She's already devised a strategy to win him over. Her father would never imagine she'd go this far. Nathaniel turns to ask if Ignis knows. Ignis shrugs helplessly, saying if he doesn't know, then Ignis certainly doesn't either. Inside the Western Kingdom's palace, beautiful music suddenly fills the air. Ariana is drawn to listen closely. She wonders if this could be Bayuahua's performance. A guard reports to the king that the princess of Aurelia has arrived. The king immediately orders them to let her in. Upon entering, Ariana sees Bayuehua. She can't help but secretly marvel that he's more mysterious and beautiful than she imagined. She instantly understands why he's favored by the king and called the lunar immortal. Ariana composes herself and curtsies respectfully, greeting the king and queen. The king warmly welcomes Ariana's arrival. The queen asks with concern whether her journey was smooth, since she arrived later than expected. Ariana smiles and explains that she was captivated by Delansia's beautiful scenery. She bought local attire on the way. She apologizes for being late because of this. The king and queen are pleased, praising how well the outfit suits her and promising to gift her several sets. Ariana quickly thanks them for their generous kindness. The queen sighs, wishing she had a daughter as beautiful as Ariana. Unfortunately, she only has a house full of sons and can't enjoy the blessing of a daughter. The king notes it's getting late and suggests discussing matters tomorrow. They've prepared a guest palace for her to rest, but Ariana suddenly asks if she can choose who escorts her. The king readily agrees, letting her choose anyone. Ariana immediately replies that she'd like the musician to escort her to the guest palace. Bayuehua is somewhat surprised to hear this. The king laughs and praises her good taste. The queen orders Bayuehua to escort her. Bayuehua respectfully accepts the order. On the way, Bayuehua can't help but say he has a question for the princess. Ariana gestures for him to speak freely. Bayuehua says he's quite puzzled. Why did she order all her attendants and guards to withdraw? Ariana's gaze turns sharp. Because, before she finishes, she suddenly draws her sword with swift motion. Without hesitation, she slashes fiercely at Bayuehua. Bayuehua blocks the attack with just his sword hilt. He didn't even draw his blade. This move stirs something in Ariana, making her imagination run wild. Bayuehua isn't offended at all by her attack. Instead, he praises her outstanding skill. Ariana also praises him, saying no one has ever blocked her blade at such close range. But she secretly figures he didn't draw his sword because he didn't want to escalate things for his master's sake. Hearing this, Bayuehua just smiles faintly, saying he doesn't deserve such praise. Then he continues to ask why Ariana dismissed everyone. Ariana stops beating around the bush and bluntly says she wants to possess him. She asks what she must do to have him. Bayuehua refuses with alarm, saying his body and soul belong to the king and queen, but Ariana still insists on claiming him for herself. This attitude makes Bayuehua burst into laughter. He says he's thought of a way. If she duels him and wins one round, he'll consider submitting to her. Ariana immediately agrees, warning him not to underestimate her. Even if 5 or 6 strong men attack together, she could handle them easily. Bayuha says he looks forward to it, his gaze sharpening. Then he draws his sword, ready to strike. Ariana shouts, "Watch me!" and swings her sword to attack. The two instantly clash, splashing water everywhere. The sound of clashing blades echoes all around. After several exchanges, they're evenly matched, but Bayuha only defends without attacking. Ariana keenly notices he's deliberately weakening his strikes. She's both angry and frustrated, feeling humiliated. But that face is indeed handsome. She can't help but feel another stir of desire. She secretly plots that once she wins him over, she'll definitely get her revenge twofold. But Bayuha suddenly stops and speaks. He asks why she so desperately wants to possess him. Ariana doesn't answer directly, only saying he should become hers if he wants to know. She tempts him, saying once he's hers, she'll hold him close and tell him slowly. But Bayuha responds indirectly, mentioning he's heard she's been collecting men everywhere, for some purpose. He asks if he's also one of her targets. Ariana laughs and praises him, saying he's truly worthy of her attention, both perceptive and excellent. The light in her eyes intensifies. She wants to possess him even more. Bayuha says admiringly that he doesn't reject her ambition and aspirations. Seeing an opening, Ariana immediately asks if he's willing to become hers, but Bayuha refuses, saying he must dedicate his life to the king and queen. The king and queen gave him a new life and named him the White Cloud Beneath White. She told him, Bayuha, this is your name from now on. That's why he won't and can't so easily leave with the princess. Hearing this, Ariana's interest deepens. His loyalty makes her unable to give up. She puts forth all her strength, her moves becoming faster and fiercer. Bayuha defends with all his might, blocking her dense barrage of sword strikes. Ariana fights with everything she has, determined to win this duel. In the intense battle, Bayuha's sleeve is sliced open by her sharp blade. Seeing this, Ariana sheathes her sword with satisfaction and declares, Bayuha, you're mine now. Starting officially from today, in the pavilion. Bayuha softly addresses Her Highness the Princess. He slowly says he has a request. Ariana tells him to speak while casually picking up some food to taste. Bayuha first gently wipes away a grain of rice from her cheek. Then he speaks solemnly, mentioning those who showed him kindness. They are the current king and queen. He earnestly asks Ariana to give him time to properly bid them farewell. Facing Bayuha's request, Ariana softly says it's fine no matter how long it takes. She allows him to stay in his homeland until he's fully satisfied, but the condition is that he must eventually return to the Aurelia Empire. Bayuha affectionately takes her hand. He smiles and says, of course, that's no problem. This smile makes Ariana's heart race uncontrollably. In the palace of Glycia, news has arrived that the Princess of Aurelia will soon arrive. King Rex Kimberlake convenes a meeting to ask his ministers how to receive the princess. Raynard silently mocks them for holding an emergency meeting over just a princess. Is she such a big deal that they're scrambling like ants on a hot pan? The king ignores this and asks Sir Grant of the Ashford family for his opinion. Sir Grant proposes sending his son to the princess's palace. Raynard can't believe it. He explains that the princess is looking for men with both looks and talent. His son fits perfectly. The king suddenly understands Sir Grant's intentions. He asks Sir Grant to confirm that his son can bring benefits to Glycia. Raynard listens, very curious about what this legendary princess actually looks like. Collecting men everywhere. Sounds quite interesting. Sir Grant turns to ask Raynard if he can do it. He confidently answers of course he can. He'll thoroughly probe the princess's heart. Seeing this, the king decides on the spot to leave the princess's matters to the Ashford family. Raynard declares he absolutely won't disappoint his majesty. In private, the king remarks that no one is better suited to approach the princess. Raynard's social skills are unmatched. Raynard can't hide his pride but feigns modesty, saying he's too kind. He curiously asks who could make Rex go to such lengths. Rex chuckles and admits that Raynard is absolutely a key player, and he needs his talents. He needs Raynard's silver tongue that makes women swoon and his ability to control high society. Raynard says he'll follow all of his majesty's instructions. As soon as he finishes speaking, he can't help but wonder just how remarkable this princess is. The king explains with a sigh that the princess is greatly favored by the Aurelia Emperor. One wrong word could cost someone their life. Hearing this, Raynard becomes even more curious. The next day, Rex waits anxiously, asking why the princess hasn't arrived yet. Raynard is somewhat speechless. It feels like Rex cares about the princess more than he does. Rex says Princess Ariana is rumored to be an absolute beauty, and this is his first time meeting her up close. He even fantasizes about what would happen if the princess fell for his golden beauty at first sight. Raynard mercilessly calls him out. His hair is clearly dyed with magic. Just then, a guard loudly announces the arrival of the first princess of Aurelia, Ariana de Celestia. Upon seeing Ariana, both men show surprised expressions. The king can't help but exclaim what an extraordinary beauty she is. He hurries forward to greet her, saying warmly that he's been waiting for her. He then introduces to Ariana that during her stay in Glycia, Raynard, the eldest son of the Ashford family, will accompany her. Raynard immediately steps forward to greet her, introducing himself as Raynard Ashford. Ariana introduces her personal maid Serena, who is also the daughter of a Beltini composer. She specifically instructs that Serena handles all her affairs and should be treated with the same respect as herself. Ariana turns to Rainard and asks him to take good care of her during her stay in his country. Rainard becomes nervous. He thought the princess would be as easy to handle as other women. Looking at Ariana, he inexplicably feels the urge to kiss the top of her foot. Why didn't anyone tell him she was such a dangerous woman? Ariana notices him spacing out and softly calls, "Sir Rainard!" Rainard immediately snaps back. Ariana asks him to guide her to the guest palace so she can change before the banquet. Rainard quickly agrees to follow her instructions. He also warns that it's bitterly cold here during the day and even colder outdoors after nightfall. Rex is extremely jealous. If only he weren't king. Rainard praises Ariana, saying she's an absolute beauty just as rumored. Ariana politely says he flatters her too much. Rainard is puzzled, saying no woman dislikes being called beautiful. Ariana is non-committal. She's long been used to such compliments. Rainard is shaken by her attitude. He's certain she's the woman who can make him completely submit. Rainard secretly uses magic. Serena instantly feels dizzy and disoriented. Moments later, she collapses to the ground unconscious. Rainard calls out to Ariana and corners her against the wall. Ariana calmly asks what Sir Rainard thinks he's doing, but Rainard smiles and says the princess should stop teasing him. She's clearly not scared at all. Ariana responds haughtily that if she screamed in fright, he'd be executed with no room for complaint. Rainard isn't afraid at all. He leans closer and asks if Ariana is going to scream. His tone is flirtatious, his gaze burning as he invites Ariana to have some fun together. Ariana sneers and asks, "Have fun with you?" Rainard agrees that the banquet is far too boring. He can give the princess a far more pleasant time than any banquet, but Ariana firmly states that even if the banquet is boring, she must attend. Rainard doesn't understand why she'd reject spending quality time with him for a boring banquet. Ariana reminds Rainard to understand that she's not an ordinary socialite, but a princess. She is the first princess of Aurelia, and that's not just some boring banquet, it's the weight she must bear while wearing this crown. These words touch the usually carefree Rainard, making his heart skip a beat. Ariana asks Rainard to carry her sleeping maid and take them to the guest palace. She says there isn't much time before the banquet, and she needs to hurry. Rainard immediately agrees. But in his heart, he still desperately wants to play with Ariana. Rainard says he'll wait outside the door. She can take her time. As he leaves, he closes the door behind him so Ariana can change. Ariana buries her face in the blankets. Unable to hide her inner panic and shyness, she secretly marvels that Rainard is unexpectedly charming. She wants to possess him so badly. She warns herself not to show her interest too obviously. With someone like him, being too forward will only make him lose interest. Ariana gently calls to her maid Serena, telling her to wake up. Serena wakes up confused about why she's in bed in an unfamiliar place. Ariana says she's envious that Serena was carried in Rainard's arms. Serena blushes at this. Then she urges Serena to help her change into her gown. She waited for her to wake up and is now almost late for the banquet. Serena immediately responds respectfully, "Yes, Your Highness," and carries out the order. Rainard waits alone outside the door. His mind involuntarily fills with images of Ariana. Just the way she looked directly at him nearly makes him lose control. After getting ready, Ariana opens the door. Rainard hurriedly asks if she's all ready, but the moment he sees Ariana's new outfit, he's instantly so stunned he's lost for words. Ariana instructs Rainard to escort her to the banquet hall. Along the way, she silently schemes in her mind. She must win this man over no matter what. Rainard also vows to make the princess interested in him. At the banquet, King Rex steps forward to welcome Ariana, saying the banquet is held in her honor. Ariana curtsies to thank him, her manner elegant and proper. Rainard stays close to Ariana, watching her every move. He suggests ending the pleasantries and escorting her to rest. Her feet must be tired from wearing high heels. Without waiting for approval, Rainard directly bids farewell to His Majesty Kimberlake, preparing to take the princess away. Rex asks if he wants to end their friendship. Rainard smugly says he's just following orders. Rainard extends his hand to guide her direction. He softly tells Ariana, "This way, please." All along the way, Rainard acts like a perfect gentleman. He supports Ariana up the stairs, step by step to her seat. Ariana politely thanks Rainard. Rainard says it's his duty, his manners still gentlemanly. After sitting down, Ariana praises the banquet's splendor, befitting a powerful nation. Rainard humbly responds that he's glad she doesn't find it lacking. If he weren't her escort, he'd definitely ask her for a dance. Ariana chuckles, teasing that he was so bold earlier but now he's timid. Rainard explains he didn't dare ask because he feared she wouldn't like it. Ariana immediately catches on and tempts him with a smile to try anyway. Hearing this, Rainard steps forward and announces he wants to play an interesting game with the ladies at the banquet. He's hidden something small, bright red, and capable of making sounds somewhere in the hall. Whoever finds it will receive a kiss from him. The crowd instantly erupts in cheers. Rainard turns to look at Ariana and asks if she wants to participate. Ariana gives a light laugh, her eyes full of understanding and mischief. She suddenly reaches out, pinches Rainard's face, and leans close to him. Rainard's cheeks flush red, his eyes full of panic. The next second, Ariana confidently declares she's found it. The crowd is amazed that she found the answer so quickly. Ariana explains, small, bright red, and capable of making enchanting sounds. The answer is Rainard's tongue. Her tone is absolute. A tingle runs through Raynard's entire body. It takes him a while to stammer that she's correct. With that, Ariana slowly leans toward Raynard, her breath brushing against him. However, just as their lips are about to meet, she mercilessly pushes Raynard away. Then she sits back in her seat and arrogantly commands Raynard. She orders him to kiss the top of her foot right now, in front of everyone. She looks at him scrutinizingly and asks if Raynard understands what she means. Raynard's heart pounds wildly. Her actions have completely thrown him off balance. The crowd erupts in commotion over Ariana's bold move. Raynard stands frozen in shock. He cannot believe she wants him to kiss her foot in front of everyone. He hesitates and asks if she is joking, but Ariana replies seriously that she means it. She sees through his desires and says she admires his honest greed. Ariana softly invites him to shine within her treasure chest. Raynard sighs deeply, feeling both exposed and thrilled. This woman who sees through his every desire makes him surrender completely. He believes only Princess Ariana is worthy of him. Gasps ripple through the crowd as everyone is stunned by this bold scene. Ariana looks triumphant, completely in control. Even Rex cannot help but envy him, wishing he could do the same if he were not king. Raynard smiles warmly and calls out to his dear princess. He vows to stay by her side and offer his strength. Ariana is very pleased and praises Raynard for doing well. Then she deliberately calls him her dear Raynard, making his heart flutter. In the secret garden of the Dawn Palace in the Aurelia Empire, Ignis receives a letter from his father. Nathaniel's ears perk up at the sound of the princess's footsteps, and Ignis cannot resist teasing him. He reaches to touch Nathaniel's ears, but Nathaniel refuses, calling it rude. Ariana appears with a smile and greets Nathaniel and Ignis warmly. She says she missed Nathaniel dearly, and he asks with concern if everything went well. Ignis is especially excited to see Ariana and expresses how much he missed her. Their intimate interaction makes Nathaniel jealous, and he speaks up to remind them. Raynard quietly observes, realizing these are the princess's other jewels. Ariana formally introduces Raynard as her fourth jewel. Raynard politely introduces himself as Raynard Ashford. The two greet him, but Raynard senses he is facing two untamable beasts. Afternoon tea time. Nathaniel cannot help but ask if Bayuha from Delansia will join them later. Ariana nods in confirmation. She notices Ignis's displeased expression and asks what is wrong. Ignis complains that Bayuha is too presumptuous. Being favored by the princess is already an honor, yet he dares make unreasonable demands. But Ariana smiles and says she needs him more, so it is worth waiting. This piques Ignis's curiosity. She nods, admitting he is indeed impressive, and looks forward to having Bayuha join soon. The conversation returns to business. Only one jewel remains. The last jewel is in the southern nation of Mauritia, Jasper Marino. House Marino has the blessing of the sea god and understands the cycles of the world. Raynard summarizes that Jasper excels at finance and is truly a talent who can help the princess. Hearing this, Nathaniel thinks Jasper could serve as the princess's finance minister, and the princess nods in agreement. She proposes leaving tomorrow and asks if they will accompany her. Nathaniel and Raynard agree immediately, but Ignis hesitates to speak. Ignis explains apologetically that he wants to go, but monsters have surged in his homeland, and he must lead troops to fight them. Ariana understands and expresses hope for his homeland's safety, though she feels it is a pity. She softly promises to make it up to him when he returns. Ignis excitedly declares he will make it up to the princess, even if it takes all night. Nathaniel and Raynard feel jealous, silently grumbling about being treated like they are invisible. Ariana stops them in time and urges everyone to prepare for departure. To find the last jewel, they head to the water nation of Mauritia. Ariana asks nervously if she really looks good like this. She feels like a low-ranking noble's daughter and sounds uncomfortable. Raynard and Nathaniel nod, saying she looks adorable. Raynard explains that Lord Marino knows his son's abilities and will not let him go easily, but the Lord himself is quite absurd. Ariana instantly understands why Raynard devised this plan. Nathaniel stiffly promises to protect her the entire time, and Raynard reminds him his tone is too obvious, but Ariana cannot help swooning. Nathaniel looks so attractive with his hair slicked back. Raynard seriously reminds her of several points to watch in her upcoming words and actions. He clarifies her role. For now, Ariana is a dancer performing on the streets. After experiencing it firsthand, Ariana finds it more interesting than she imagined. Raynard cannot help praising Ariana's outstanding dance and regrets not dancing with her at the banquet. But Ariana feels embarrassed and asks if this can really win over Jasper. Raynard says they could succeed as early as tomorrow. Ariana agrees through gritted teeth, growing ever more curious about Jasper. Meanwhile, Jasper is in his mansion, completely ignoring the commotion outside. Scattered paper flyers remind him that the national security procession has arrived, but he quickly dismisses it, feeling that outside affairs have nothing to do with him. As planned, Ariana begins dancing in the streets. Every lift of her hand and every spin is breathtakingly beautiful. The audience surrounds her, cheering and applauding. When the dance ends, Raynard and Ariana bow to the crowd. Rainard announces loudly that this is the starlight of the Azure Sea Dance and calls for applause. Then he changes his tone, asking everyone to tip generously if they enjoyed it. Nathaniel and the princess cannot help but complain that he must show off the Ashford family's love of money. The atmosphere is warm and cheerful. No one notices the anomaly in the corner. A man is staring at Ariana. Rainard notices him and spots the badge he wears. He is pleased, thinking the target took the bait faster than expected. Ariana pants and complains that dancing is exhausting. Nathaniel quickly steps forward to comfort her. She laughs and admits she is still not used to such occasions. Rainard smiles and tells her that a servant from House Marino saw her dance. Ariana is delighted, realizing she can meet him tonight. Rainard nods in confirmation. At the Marino family mansion, the atmosphere is tense and oppressive. The servant Felix returns from shopping and knocks on his master's door. Lord Marino sees Felix return and says he has been waiting for a long time. Felix reports that he has gathered information about the new dancer. Lord Marino is very satisfied with what he hears. He immediately rewards Felix with money. He says greedily that the dancer is too beautiful and he must have her for himself. By now, Ariana is exhausted, and Rainard affectionately tells her she worked hard. Lord Marino suddenly appears and rudely calls out to Ariana, addressing her as little lady. He speaks flirtatiously, saying if she comes with him, he will treat her 1,000 times better than the men beside her. Ariana is secretly pleased that the prey has taken the bait. She bluntly says he is pathetic. Felix immediately scolds her, reminding her she is speaking to the head of House Marino. Ariana scoffs and asks what of it, calling them all hopeless trash. Lord Marino is enraged and sneers that she is too arrogant. He wants to tame her properly. He loudly orders his men to seize Ariana and bring her back. Ariana stops Nathaniel and angrily condemns their behavior as utterly rude. Lord Marino cannot believe she dares to take this attitude with him. Ariana accuses them of using their noble status to treat people as playthings. She strides forward angrily, and the servants are frightened. She denounces their vile and despicable behavior as utterly disgraceful. Lord Marino raises his hand and curses Ariana as a madwoman. Nathaniel struggles to contain his fury. Rainard is also somewhat in disbelief. Just as his hand is about to strike, Ariana grabs it. Unable to tolerate anymore, she throws Lord Marino out. She says coldly that anyone who dares raise a hand against royalty must have a death wish. Her sacred dance dedicated to the sea god was nearly ruined because of them. She scoffs, saying she cannot be bothered to explain to swine drowning in their desires. Nathaniel quickly steps forward to shield Ariana and asks with concern if she is hurt. His solid chest makes her blush involuntarily. Ariana laughs and says she is strong, but secretly she feels safe leaning against Nathaniel. The moment Lord Marino hears the word princess, he freezes. The princess's maid sternly demands if he still refuses to apologize. Unable to hold back, she curses him as swine for daring to be so rude to the princess. She even suggests killing these scoundrels outright. Only then does Lord Marino realize that must be Duke Brian. He realizes the person before him is truly Princess Ariana, the daughter whom Emperor Julian treasures in his palm. He cannot help but tremble with fear. Ariana gently strokes Nathaniel's cheek, soothing him. She announces that today's matter will be resolved at the speech venue. Rainard immediately relays this and asks if they all heard. He states they will meet him again at the speech venue in 2 days. Lord Marino panics completely. He begs for mercy, but no one pays him any attention. Nathaniel asks angrily if there really is no other way. Rainard also grits his teeth, saying that although it is the princess's choice, it is unbearable. But Ariana says she is fine. Thanks to that fool, they are closer to their goal. She has only one thought in her mind: she must get that azure jewel. In the royal council chamber of Meritia, the king stands aside, sweating nervously. Everyone condemns Lord Marino for bringing shame and tarnishing the nation's reputation. Even Glycia is cursing. Ariana faces the king and ministers with a serious tone. Regarding this incident, she guarantees it will not affect diplomatic relations between the two nations. However, she cannot forgive Lord Marino's despicable actions. Lord Marino is extremely agitated, insisting that he did not cause the wound and that it is a trap. Ariana declares that she is the only daughter of the Aurelia Emperor. She is extremely furious that Lord Marino dared to harm royalty. As punishment, she announces the revocation of Lord Marino's title and the stripping of his noble status. At the same time, she appoints Lavinia, the eldest daughter of House Marino, as the new head of the family. Furthermore, the second son, Jasper Marino, will be given to the Aurelia Empire. The king asks in shock why she would want to take the young lord of House Marino. Ariana coldly asks if this resolution is not generous enough. She is not demanding the death of her assailant, so is there a problem? Intimidated by Ariana's tone, King Neptune is filled with fear. Ariana secretly observes Jasper. He is not only handsome but also has the signature blue hair of House Marino. He is also a stubborn nationalist, which is why he is angry. But even his anger is pleasing to the eye. Ariana questions him, asking if he is dissatisfied with this carefully planned solution to reduce friction between the two nations. Jasper feels deeply humiliated. Her solution is to make him a male concubine. She is clearly trampling on his will and dignity, Deity. He strides forward and asks if the princess will allow him to speak one word of advice. Seeing the princess agree, he directly brings up the recent rumors about the princess collecting men. Ariana does not shy away and admits the rumors are true. Jasper presses further, asking if she wants to take him away for the same purpose. Ariana asks back, "What if I say yes?" Jasper shouts his refusal, with firm resolve. Seeing this, Ariana reminds him, does he want his father's mistake to become a diplomatic issue between the two nations? Jasper stiffens and relents, saying if this is the will of my Stora, he will comply. Ariana is satisfied. She then remarks that Lord Marino already has enough children. He cannot help but curse silently, wondering what this madwoman is scheming now. Ariana orders on the spot that Lord Marino be castrated, even arranging for a professional doctor. Lord Marino feels as if the sky has fallen, but Jasper feels no sympathy. This is his father reaping what he sowed. She declares that all conditions must be met. Failure to meet even one will become a diplomatic issue. She gives them 3 days to comply. The remaining matters are entrusted to Sir Ashford to arrange the follow-up properly. Sir Ashford immediately responds that he will do his utmost to fulfill the princess's orders. After Ariana leaves, Rainard smiles meaningfully, stating he needs to have a deeper conversation with them. Ariana reflects that letting rumors ferment in high society was just a precaution, but pretending to be injured was tiring. She uses magic to remove the wound. However, Jasper's reaction was interesting. He resisted so fiercely. Polishing this rough gem into her own jewel will surely be interesting. Nathaniel cannot help but ask if she really has to go this far. Ariana looks back at him, puzzled. Nathaniel explains that no matter how much she wants Jasper, she should not use herself as bait. Ariana responds that with her current position and power, there is no other way. Raynard proposed several plans, but she decided on this one, to win over the conservative House Marino. The classic approach works best. Raynard agreed because this way it will not escalate into a national dispute. To get what she desires, she will stop at nothing. She reminds him that he only needs to fulfill her wishes. Nathaniel suppresses his emotions and asks to say one more thing. No matter what she does, he will support her, but he hopes she puts her safety first. Even though she is strong and protected by the Holy Sword's power, he could not bear it if something happened to her. Ariana is touched and promises to be careful. Nathaniel asks doubtfully if she really means it. Ariana laughs and asks if she has become that kind of person in his eyes. Nathaniel emotionally lifts the veil from her face and leans closer. Ariana apologizes softly for making him worry. Nathaniel says it is enough that she understands his feelings. Then the two share a passionate kiss. The next day at the dock, Lavinia looks at Jasper with displeasure. Her younger brother quickly tries to calm her, asking her to understand Jasper's feelings. Ariana warmly calls out to Jasper Marino, telling him to come over. Since he is willing to come, it seems the negotiations between the two nations concluded smoothly. Jasper nods, but silently grumbles that it was not a negotiation but a threat. Ariana announces that Jasper belongs to her. From now on, he is her jewel. She asks if he understands, and emphasizes that he is her Jasper. Jasper is stunned by her beauty, his mind going blank, but he quickly warns himself not to be deceived by her innocent smile. He pretends to be calm and responds that he will do his duty. He curses silently, thinking she must have bewitched countless people with this trick. He will never let her have her way. He must break free from this fate that binds him. He will definitely escape from her treasure chest. Meanwhile, Lord Marino breaks down, unable to believe he has become a eunuch. In the western kingdom of Delansia, Bayuha whispers to the queen consort that he wants to see the wider world. The queen consort sighs softly and says she understands his feelings. Although the emperor has given permission, she still hopes the princess will agree to her request. Bayuha reassures her that the princess understands reciprocity and will surely agree. The queen consort still cannot hide her reluctance. She worries and is unwilling to let Bayuha leave. Although Bayuha goes as a loyal subject, he will inevitably be drawn into the open and covert struggles for favor. Bayuha soothes her, saying he has long been accustomed to such intrigues. In the past, many people resented that someone of his lowly status joined the king's special forces. They said even the queen consort favored Bayuha, so he must be using his looks to curry favor. Even the prince cursed Bayuha as cunning for bewitching the queen and angrily told him to get lost. The queen consort asks Bayuha if he knows how she maintains her relationship with his majesty. Bayuha respectfully answers that he does not know the reason. The queen consort smiles and says she will teach him the secrets to gaining favor so he can win the princess's affection. This will be good for Delansia, for her, and for Bayuha. Things will become very busy afterward. The queen consort reminds him to be prepared. Bayuha says sincerely that the queen consort's happiness is his greatest honor. She asks hopefully if Bayuha can call her mother. Bayuha immediately says, "My lady mother." He sincerely praises her, saying she looks beautiful when she is genuinely happy. The queen consort looks at Bayuha and feels as though he were her own child. She will make sure his preparations for the diplomatic mission are flawless. Ignis praises her gently, saying the princess is truly adorable. Ariana laughs playfully and says he is tickling her. She deliberately asks if he really likes her that much. Ignis thinks it is only natural. He confesses passionately that for the princess, he can defeat any enemy. Ariana sighs that although he brought back a large amount of magic ore, it is such a pity she did not go to Meritia with him. As she finishes speaking, she suddenly pins him beneath her. Ariana gazes at him seductively and asks if he has thought about how to make it up to her. Ignis swallows involuntarily. He flips over and pins her beneath him. He shows her with actions as the two become intimate once more. Meanwhile, an attendant anxiously asks Ignis why he is only arriving now. Turning around, he is startled and asks in disbelief what Ignis has done. Ignis grins foolishly and says he just came from being in the throes of passion with a goddess. The attendant is both anxious and angry, saying Ignis cannot be so completely besotted with the princess. The Delansia delegation arrives tomorrow, and the princess's new jewel is coming too. Ignis does not care and says the attendant killed his mood. The attendant explains that this jewel is someone favored by both the king and queen consort of Delansia. Does he not know how exceptional that person is? Ignis scoffs. Let him come. He fears no one. No one can come between his feelings for Ariana. The attendant has no choice but to urge him to quickly put on the phoenix cloak. He has been waiting here for quite a while. The attendant says there is new information on the crimson rose that the princess asked him to find. The princess will surely be happy to know. Ignis urges him to leave immediately. Only then does Ignis realize he was so excited that he forgot to transform into his spirit form. The attendant sighs, warning that being so captivated by the princess while ignoring his surroundings will cause trouble. Surely the prince will not compete with other men for Ariana's favor. The diplomatic procession begins. Someone shouts excitedly that it is the Delansia marching convoy. Someone pulls their older sibling along to watch. Everyone is amazed by Bayuha's beauty. The attendant announces loudly that the Xiayun delegation from the kingdom of Delansia requests entry to the palace. Ariana is overjoyed. She has finally been waiting for this moment. She cannot help but marvel at how noble, pure, and beautiful he is. Moreover, she is surprised to discover he is holding the 5 bonds of betrothal, a Delansian wedding item. When Langshuan, representative of the Delansia delegation and proxy of the king, greets them, Bayuha, general of the king's special forces of Delansia, greets them. The emperor kindly says they have worked hard and that a grand banquet will be held for the delegation tonight. Before the banquet begins, the emperor invites them to rest at the guest palace. Bayuha raises his eyes and meets Ariana's gaze. She cannot help but blush. Ariana is ecstatic inside. Could he be blushing because their eyes met? She cannot wait to have a battle of wits with Bayuha. She tries to calm herself. She will meet him at the banquet soon. Ignis enters the venue and immediately sees a scene that crushes him. His heart shatters, and tears flow uncontrollably. The maids dress Ariana and sincerely praise her as too perfect. They say that, regardless of age or gender, anyone who sees her will be captivated. If the crown prince of neighboring Oratelia were to see her, he would surely pursue her hand in marriage with fervent desperation. Ariana smiles and thanks them for taking the trouble to dress her up. The maids respond that making the princess beautiful is their mission. Then they head to the venue. Ariana already misses Bayuha so much she can barely stand it. Suddenly, an angry roar comes from the door, cursing them as lowly insects and ordering them to get lost. The maid is startled and says she will open the door just in case. When she opens the door, she demands to know who dares make noise at the princess's residence. The door opens to reveal Prince Ignis. Ariana peeks out in surprise. Ignis immediately breaks into a bright smile, saying he has been waiting for her to appear. While waiting, he has already dealt with all the pests trying to approach the princess. As usual, Ignis praises her for being dazzling today. She asks curiously why he is here when he should be heading to the banquet hall. Ignis solemnly states he came specifically to escort the princess to the banquet hall. Seeing the princess agree, he boldly asks if she is in a good mood today. Ariana nods. Delansia has achieved military cooperation, and she gets to welcome a new jewel. Ignis reassures himself that this cannot change the princess's affection for him. Even if the new jewel is a general, he cannot compare to someone of royal blood like himself. Even if he comes, Ignis is not afraid. At the banquet, Rainard waves and calls out to Ariana. He says he has been waiting for the princess for a long time. Ariana looks slightly apologetic. Rainard quickly says it is fine, then glares back at Ignis. Nathaniel also greets Ariana with a smile. She reaches out to pat him and thanks for waiting. Then she stops Jasper, who is trying to slip away. She softly says she hopes Jasper will enjoy tonight's banquet. Jasper coldly says he does not like attending banquets and only comes for the benefits. Ariana knows he is not wrong, but his words are filled with disgust. But she also knows that due to family pressure, Jasper will still accompany her to various occasions. At this moment, Ignis steps forward and invites Ariana to the first dance. But Ariana is suddenly drawn to Bayuha's entrance. The guests around her gasp in surprise, guessing if he is the legendary one, the princess's new jewel, Bayuha. The guests all marvel at how dazzling he is. Ariana immediately rushes toward Bayuha, ignoring Ignis's calls. Bayuha quickly bows to Ariana. Ariana playfully tells him to entertain her now. Bayuha quickly agrees, saying he will serve the princess with all his heart. Nathaniel watches and remarks that the princess has completed her jewel collection. Rainard notes that the princess clearly favors this new jewel. He mocks that the domineering prince was publicly abandoned. Serves him right. Ignis stares blankly at this scene. In a room, Ariana sighs that she could not help but sneak away from the banquet hall. Bayuha chuckles softly and says it is all his fault. Ariana complains slightly that she waited for him so hard. Bayuha quickly apologizes, explaining that he spent a lot of time convincing the king and queen consort. Ariana says she agreed to visit Delansia twice a year as the queen consort's adopted daughter. She only needs to serve and accompany the queen consort for a week. It is nothing. Bayuha gently asks if the princess missed him very much. Ariana answers without hesitation that of course she did. Bayuha says if he also says he missed the princess. He nervously asks if the princess will believe him. Ariana smiles suggestively and tells him to show her. Right here on this bed, very carefully. Meanwhile, Ignis is burning with rage, standing alone on the balcony and fuming. He bites his lips so hard in anger that it bleeds, but he does not notice. A headline reads, "Capturing the Princess's Heart Alone. The new jewel Bayuha leaves Prince Casanova in the cold." Ignis sarcastically praises the writer for such a catchy headline. He quickly demands angrily if the writer has a death wish, thinking anonymity means he cannot be found. If he did not have to attend the princess's luncheon, he would not let him off. His subordinate asks how to handle him. Ignis says he is still useful, so lock him in the abandoned palace basement to avoid suspicion. He also orders that reports be occasionally published under the journalist's pen name to avoid arousing suspicion from his sudden disappearance. Ariana asks Bayuha softly if the food is to his liking. Bayuha quickly says it is delicious and praises the chef's excellent cooking. Ariana says this is his first meal here, so she specially asked the chef to take extra care. Bayuha thanks her gratefully, deeply moved. The Empress's maid suddenly appears and informs Ariana that the Empress summons her. Ariana is overjoyed and breaks into a radiant smile. Then she apologizes that lunch is not over, but she must leave early because the Empress has called for her. Bayuha and Rainard quickly say it is fine and tell her not to worry. Nathaniel promises to wrap things up and tells Ariana to rest assured. Ariana especially apologizes to Bayuha, regretting that she has to leave early during his first meal. Bayuha considerately says filial piety comes first. Ariana promises to see him at afternoon tea. Ariana reminds Nathaniel once more. Nathaniel solemnly vows that Nathaniel Black will be forever loyal to Princess Ariana. Ariana smiles and says goodbye, telling everyone she will see them later. Everyone rises to bow to Ariana. Rainard suggests continuing the meal, but Ignis interrupts. He sneers with disdain, mocking that he would one day eat at the same table as commoners. Bayuha humbly responds that he is honored, saying he often heard of Ignis's heroic deeds in Delansia, but Ignis does not appreciate it. He angrily calls Bayuha shameless, saying his smile is fake and pretentious. Bayuha smiles and says he cannot put away his smile. Rainard cannot help but note that the tension is thick. He secretly smiles, thinking this is getting more interesting. There will surely be drama to unfold soon. Ignis cannot contain his rage, and suddenly stands up. He pours the food harshly over Bayuha's head. He warns him viciously to watch himself. Bayuha shows no reaction and simply reminds him calmly that this will surely reach the princess's ears. When that happens, he can only ask for Ignis's understanding. Ignis is enraged by his attitude. He angrily shouts that Bayuha dares to mention the princess in front of him. Bayuha emphasizes again that he belongs to the princess. Surely Ignis is not foolish enough to do this. Ignis retorts stubbornly that he sees an insignificant commoner, not the princess's possession. Bayuha presses further, asking if Ignis wants to fight here. Ignis hesitates repeatedly and can only curse loudly. Everyone stares in disbelief at the knife on the table. Rainard kindly reminds Bayuha to clean up before his clothes stain. He hands over a handkerchief and quietly complains that Ignis often does this, telling Bayuha not to mind. Rainard warmly invites him for drinks. Bayuha smiles and politely declines, saying he does not drink much. Nathaniel finds Ignis, but as soon as he speaks, Ignis interrupts, saying he is in a bad mood. Nathaniel continues and proposes that Ignis spar with him. It aids digestion, and sweating relieves a bad mood. Ignis mocks Nathaniel for feigning modesty, but still agrees to spar with him. On the training ground, Ignis loses before he can even react. He cannot believe it. Nathaniel warns Ignis that even if he hurts others out of jealousy, it will not change the facts. He is the princess's first jewel and first sword. The princess dislikes those who disturb order. He hopes Ignis remembers this. Ignis is both shocked and angry. He realizes Nathaniel had a purpose from the start. Nathaniel explains that he was indirect to accommodate the Solaria approach that Ignis values. At the Aurelia Empress's palace, Ariana is about to have her audience when Nathaniel suddenly finds her. She tells Nathaniel to keep it brief, as she is about to see the Empress. Nathaniel reports that some disputes occurred among the jewels, but have all been resolved. He has also investigated the matter she asked about. Ariana is very pleased and says the time has come for the jewels to prove their worth. Now it is time to weed out the unworthy. Nathaniel pledges his loyalty again. The princess's wishes are his wishes, and he will surely obey. Ariana thanks Nathaniel and looks forward to him bringing satisfactory prey this time. She reminds Nathaniel once more to investigate the rose seed, then hurries to see the Empress. Nathaniel responds respectfully, saying he will act according to the guidance of the chief goddess Estrella. After Nathaniel leaves, Ariana's heart races. She almost ruined her well-behaved image due to her desires. She cannot help but sigh that she is truly someone loyal to her inner desires. Ariana gently knocks on the door. She apologizes slightly, saying she is late. The Empress immediately greets her affectionately as Little Star. Ariana takes the opportunity to act sweetly, praising the Empress for still being elegant and kind, but she does not forget her manners and respectfully bows to greet the Empress. The Empress gently waves her hand, telling her not to be so formal and to relax in private. Ariana obediently agrees, her eyes full of affection. Then she throws herself into the Empress's arms. The Empress expresses her concern, lamenting that Ariana is always away on diplomatic matters. Ariana hugs her back tightly, expressing her equally deep longing for the Empress. The Empress feels sorry for her hard work and suggests she attend the afternoon tea party. Ariana's eyes instantly light up, and she excitedly agrees. But first, she must help with the mountain of official duties. Ariana is full of energy. She studied administration hard because she wants to become the Empress's capable assistant. The Empress looks at her and cannot help but sigh at how fast time flies. The once small and adorable daughter has grown up so quickly. She silently tells her son Aries that his younger sister has grown up healthy. The Empress patiently guides her through the work, telling her to be flexible with certain terms. In the garden, the noble ladies gather around. One lady praises her for inheriting the Empress's beauty, saying she is too beautiful. She says with slight regret that she would have brought some beautiful jewelry if she had known. Another lady asks the Empress for parenting advice, saying her own daughter is mischievous and causes trouble. She envies Ariana's good behavior. The Empress humbly credits the chief god's blessing and reassures her that her daughter will grow. Ariana quickly adds that it is also thanks to the Empress's careful upbringing. A snide voice suddenly interrupts. The king's mistress Bellatrix appears, pretending to complain that the Empress did not invite her. This truly breaks her heart. She bows to the Empress with feigned respect, but her posture is full of arrogance. Ariana burns with anger and bluntly says Bellatrix has no right to be here. She emphasizes that the Empress did not invite this uninvited guest. But Bellatrix produces an invitation, her eyes full of defiance. The attendant nervously confirms that the invitation was indeed sent to Bellatrix. Ariana wants to step forward, but the Empress stops her. She sternly warns Bellatrix that if she dares cause trouble, she will be severely punished. Bellatrix pretends to comply, agreeing with a cold smile. She initiates conversation with Marchioness Alston, inquiring about her wealthy son-in-law. The Marchioness responds awkwardly that her son-in-law is indeed excellent. Bellatrix takes the opportunity to emphasize the importance of choosing a good partner and fertility. Everyone agrees and praises Bellatrix for her luck, mentioning Prince Cassian's birthday. She proudly invites everyone to come bless her son. Back in the room, Ariana comforts the Empress, telling her not to mind that nonsense. The Empress says she is fine and tells her not to worry. Ariana hesitates to speak but eventually tells her to rest and that she will tell her later. Back in her room, the moment she closes the door, her rage explodes completely. She curses Bellatrix as that wretched witch. Bellatrix not only took away her young brother Ares, but also stole her father the king. What else does she want to take? She is utterly arrogant. The maids quickly step forward to comfort her and tell her to calm down. Ariana's rage cannot be calmed. She tells the maids to summon anyone from her jewels. The maids dare not delay and quickly obey. Ignis rushes over. He is startled when he sees Ariana's state. He urgently asks if her hand is injured. Ariana's eyes are blank. She does not know when she started hating the color red. Ignis asks worriedly what happened. Ariana can no longer hold back and throws herself into Ignis's arms. Ignis gently promises that no matter what happens, he will always be on her side. Ariana buries herself in his arms and suddenly confesses her feelings. She asks him to love her with all his heart. Bayuha happens to arrive at that moment. Seeing the intimate scene of the two embracing, he freezes. His face is filled with loneliness. He silently turns and leaves. At dawn, Ignis Casanova wakes from his dream. Ariana de Celestia is already gone from his side. He wonders, did the princess head to the sword training grounds this early? What happened yesterday to make her, someone so strong who never shows weakness, act that way? Could it be related to the Crimson Rose she's searching for? So far, relevant intelligence has remained at a complete standstill. Even stranger, all the responses are suspiciously uniform. Clearly someone is pulling strings behind the scenes. Ignis muses to himself that finding the Crimson Rose's past is more crucial than dealing with that weasel-like fellow. In the meeting room, Ariana returns and apologizes that the sword demonstration tournament took longer than expected. She asks if everyone has arrived. Rainard Ashford responds that they watched the broadcast before she arrived. She easily defeated Prince Cassian. The gap in their abilities was vast. Ariana humbly remarks that he's simply too thin. Changing the subject, Rainard can't help but press, "What happened yesterday?" He saw Jesse and Serena frantically searching for the jewels, but he was busy dealing with the old foxes on the list last night, and only learned the news late. He asks again with concern, "Did something bad happen yesterday?" Ariana sighs and simply says she acted impulsively out of emotion, but everything's fine now. At this moment, Ignis reminds them that the afternoon meeting can begin. Ariana snaps back to attention and signals for the meeting to start. She announces that from now on, the jewels will begin acting on her behalf. The core of this operation is to sweep away the forces of Veronica, the Blood Moon Witch. Ever since Veronica appeared in the Altana Islands, heretical forces have been stirring. The royal sanctuary is changing, and problems like hunger, refugees, and illegal trade are worsening across the nation. Ariana looks at Ignis and instructs him to expand the search scope based on the data Abbas collected. The areas behind the palace that Achilles' forces cannot enter will be investigated and infiltrated by Nathaniel and House Bryan. She then assigns Rainard and Jasper to temporarily assist Her Majesty the Empress and prevent Veronica from exploiting any openings. Although Viscountess Adelaide is currently assisting the Empress, Veronica constantly interferes. Rainard immediately declares he won't let Veronica interfere in the slightest. Jasper also confirms there's no problem. Ariana shifts topics and asks if Bayuha is ready to officially make his appearance in the Aurelia Empire. She smiles and arranges for Bayuha to temporarily represent her in high society, using this to observe the power dynamics within. Bayuha respectfully responds that he will do his utmost to fulfill Her Highness's instructions. Someone raises a question. Don't they need to investigate Veronica's two sons? Ariana responds coolly that they pose no threat. As for Balthazar, he's merely a pawn manipulated by Veronica. What truly needs guarding against is Veronica, the one pulling the strings from behind. Ariana worries deeply, uncertain what schemes Veronica will plot behind the princes and the Emperor's affection. They must eliminate this hidden danger as soon as possible. This is their collective mission. She directly commands everyone to do everything in their power to make her emperor. She even states that she's willing to entrust her soul to the promise made with Alphatyr, the god of death, if necessary. Everyone responds in unison. Ariana nods with satisfaction and tells everyone to carry out their respective tasks. She turns to Rainard and Jasper, telling them to come with her to rescue the Empress who's drowning in paperwork. Just then, Bayuha suddenly calls out to Ariana. Bayuha frowns, his expression worried as he says he's concerned he won't perform the task well. Before he finishes speaking, Bayuha suddenly pulls Ariana close and leans down to kiss her. This sudden move leaves the four others stunned speechless. Bayuha slowly releases her and quietly asks her to forgive his improper behavior. It's precisely this kiss that gives him the courage to do things well. Ariana's heart pounds wildly. She thinks to herself that Bayuha is so good at playing innocent. What is he even worried about? In a good mood, she says of course she'll forgive him. Her tone gentle, she says she needs to leave first. Bayuha's eyes gleam triumphantly as he shoots Ignis a provocative look. Ignis's subordinate quickly urges him to hold back and not act rashly to cause trouble. Jasper watches Ariana's departing figure, his heart wavering slightly. He never expected she would have such ambition to become emperor, but regardless, he still needs to escape from the treasure chest. Rainard has long seen through his desire to escape, but Jasper's oracle ability is too precious. Letting him go directly would be too wasteful. Unlike himself, who calculates like a whale, Jasper can easily foresee trends in the future. He needs to make Jasper assist the princess wholeheartedly first, fully enjoy the benefits, and only then leave. The three of them head toward the Empress's palace when Jasper suddenly stops, his expression grave. Rainard asks what's wrong. Jasper explains he sensed a strange gaze from behind that sends chills down his spine. Seeing the two standing still, Ariana teases and asks if they're secretly dating. Jasper immediately retorts that he'd rather die than get involved with a golden fox like Rainard. In the corner, a sickly-looking woman stares intently at their backs. At Veronica's residence in Scarlet City, Nathaniel senses something wrong the moment he steps in. The weeds around seem harder to deal with than expected. A dark mass of energy suddenly attacks. Nathaniel reacts swiftly and firmly seizes this malevolent force. The dark energy in his hand reveals its form, an alchemist. Cordelia teases Nathaniel about his serious expression, deliberately calling him Little Nate to mess with him. Nathaniel bristles and begs his sister not to use his nickname in front of subordinates. Cordelia feigns hurt and complains he's too cold. After the joke, Nathaniel turns serious and instructs his subordinates to carefully search for traces of the alchemist and soul imprints. Cordelia suggests formulating a strategy for dealing with attacks in advance. Nathaniel immediately agrees. They'll leave aerial defense to Ignis. A subordinate brings the phoenix cloak and reminds him it's time to carry out the princess's orders. Ignis asks his subordinate if they've found the items to deliver to the golden fox and the tender green earrings. The subordinate nods respectfully. With just one word from him, the items can be presented immediately. Ignis nods with satisfaction. Soon will be the perfect time to hunt the weasel. The guards then depart. declaring in unison they will complete the princess's mission under the sun god's protection. Bayuha reflects that he was once mistaken for a weasel demon who kidnaps men and women. This is the second time he deliberately plays such a role. As long as it's for the princess, becoming a weasel doesn't matter. He firmly believes the princess will protect him, who has nothing else to rely on. A gentle knock sounds at the Empress's palace door. Ariana's voice comes through. She's here to rescue her. The Empress is overjoyed to hear this, and quickly calls for Little Star to come help. She asks curiously about the two men behind Ariana. Ariana explains their helpers she brought. Rainard steps forward and introduces himself as the eldest son of House Ashford. Jasper also bows, the second son of House Marino. The Empress responds warmly, welcoming them both and expressing her happiness to meet her daughter's jewels. Ariana explains to the Empress that both have outstanding abilities and will surely help ease her burdens. The Empress breathes a sigh of relief. Finally, she can catch her breath from the mountain of documents. Before long, Jasper finishes processing a huge stack of documents. Rainard can't help but marvel at his skill. Jasper takes it in stride, thinking it's nothing at all. Jasper then reports to the Empress, offering suggestions regarding trade with Port Sorrento. Ariana stares at Jasper's brilliant smile, lost in thought. She never expected that he, usually so cold, looks this good when he smiles. Rainard suddenly speaks up, teasing Ariana for staring at Jasper in a daze. The pen won't move itself. Ariana gasps in surprise. Rainard finds her reaction quite adorable. She's a bit annoyed and reminds Rainard not to tease her in front of the Empress. Rainard points out with a half smile that because of her distraction, she made a whole bunch of mistakes. He points out each error one by one, teasing that her handwriting is all crooked. Ariana hastily defends herself. Those are documents she hasn't finished yet. Jasper watches this scene unfold. He actually finds Ariana unexpectedly adorable at this moment. The next second, Jasper immediately warns himself not to forget what Ariana did to him. Ariana apologizes sheepishly to the Empress. Rainard is always so playful, but the Empress laughs and says it hasn't been this lively in a long time. Jasper desperately suppresses his inner thoughts, inwardly cursing how disgusting this is. At the banquet, a noblewoman initiates conversation, asking if Bayuha is from the moon kingdom of Delansia. She praises him as being just like the legends, both mysterious and beautifully captivating. Bayuha smiles and describes Delansia as very elegant, inviting everyone to visit when they have time. The noblewomen eagerly ask about Delansia's musical instruments, salons, and his elegant attire. One noblewoman even excitedly declares she'd marry him on the spot. A guard quickly steps forward to remind her she's crossed a line, but Bayuha smiles and reassures them he's fine. Bayuha gently promises that as long as he can answer the ladies' questions, he's willing to spend the entire day doing so. The noble women are moved by Bayuha's gentleness, their hearts nearly bursting. Shifting topics, Bayuha says that before answering questions, he hopes the ladies can grant him one request. The noble women don't hesitate. They tell him to speak freely. Bayuha slowly speaks, asking about an event held in the Aurelia Empire, who hosts the social gathering called the Night of Valhalla. Ariana is full of gratitude, thanking them for a month of hard work and traveling. They not only gathered extensive intelligence, but also resolved thorny issues like illegal trade, especially Rainard and Jasper. She's curious how they solved the tax embezzlement problem. Rainard says, with a smile, he merely assisted the Empress. Jasper complains he was used as a tool. Ariana turns to Bayuha, acknowledging how difficult it must have been traveling in a foreign land. Bayuha humbly says he merely gathered intelligence. She presses Bayuha on whether he discovered any valuable information. She sighs that the struggles of high society are fiercer than actual combat. Bayuha slowly explains that the Night of Valhalla social gathering is now led by the Scarlet Lady. Upon hearing this, hatred flashes in Ariana's eyes. Bayuha continues, saying somehow she heard he might be interested, and proactively delivered an invitation. So he attended the gathering. Ariana asks warily if she might be interested in him. Bayuha immediately clarifies he has no interest in anyone else and tells her to rest assured. Thanks to the house Brian guards Nathaniel sent, he was able to return safely. She breathes a sigh of relief and praises Nathaniel for his thorough thinking. Nathaniel responds smugly, of course. Bayuha recalls the gathering scene. A thick rose fragrance mixed with a subtle sense of tension. The venue was unusually quiet, everyone adhering to unspoken rules as if hiding secrets. Everyone appeared cordial, with the Scarlet Lady on the surface, but their hearts were full of fear. He speculates that the Scarlet Lady uses her status as the Emperor's favored consort to coerce people and their families. Perhaps there are other double dealings as well. Who knows? Seeing this, Ignis interjects that he has intelligence to report. Ariana immediately asks about that woman's financial flows. He responds that the woman uses the alias Beta and conducts massive underground transactions in multiple locations. The main transaction items are smuggled unrefined ether crystals. Ariana is shocked. She never expected her to be trading prohibited dangerous ether crystals with enemy nations. Ignis explains that ether crystals themselves contain pure magical power and are popular as gemstone accessories. But he shifts tone. If used improperly, they become destructive weapons. Moreover, raw ether crystals infused with magic through alchemy can revive magical beasts. They must be refined. In Beta's transaction records, there's one most dangerous item, the Eye of Hydra, a magical beast. It's the most beautiful yet most dangerous magical beast, easily capable of triggering catastrophic disasters. At this point, Nathaniel speaks up. The intelligence he uncovered seems connected to Ignis's findings. He discovered traces of an alchemist at the Scarlet Lady's residence, and they deliberately erased soul imprints. Because the soul records were severely damaged, only minimal information was stored in the memory crystal, indicating long-term transactions between them. Moreover, the magic scrolls in the images contain heretical curses, showing counterfeit magic scrolls. Ariana worries that with such a large-scale plan capable of creating monsters at any time, overthrowing the nation isn't impossible. But currently they lack direct evidence and cannot sanction her. They also cannot prove that Beta is the Scarlet Lady. Due to historical reasons, only records of 10 minutes or longer have legal validity now. She worries that once they anger the Emperor, they might end up losing everything themselves. Rainard comforts her, saying although the matter is tricky, it's not without solutions. Ariana immediately asks what specific solutions there are. Rainard proposes borrowing Jasper's merino power. Keeping Jasper without using him would be too wasteful. He can guide them to see the unknown path ahead, but Jasper refuses without hesitation. Just filling the deficit from the Scarlet Lady's embezzlement of the treasury is taxing enough. If the rumors are wrong, the Empress might be accused as the culprit. Using his appointment with the Empress as an excuse, he hastily rises and leaves. Seeing this, Ignis is quite displeased and suggests Ariana give a firm order. But Ariana says it's fine. She doesn't want to force him. She entrusts the important task of strategic planning to Rainard and asks him to report the plan as soon as possible. Rainard accepts the order respectfully but privately calculates that as long as Jasper doesn't get close to Ariana, it's fine. At the Empress's palace, Jasper excuses himself citing dinner time. The Empress thanks him with a smile. He responds humbly that he merely fulfilled his duty, but the Empress suddenly speaks up, pointing out that he doesn't seem to like Ariana. She defends Ariana, saying that though stubborn, she's also gentle and considerate, as wonderful as the stars. But Jasper pretends not to hear and hastily leaves, citing hunger as an excuse. The Empress watches his retreating figure, hoping that one day Jasper will open his heart. But Jasper holds those words in contempt, thinking Ariana is a tyrant who stops at nothing to achieve her desires. He's completely puzzled why Ariana didn't choose his brother but specifically chose him. An unfamiliar female voice sounds, politely greeting Jasper. She introduces herself as Rosalind Yangborn, the only daughter of House Yangborn. Jasper's tone is cold as he asks what her business is. He has matters to attend to. Rosalind speaks bluntly, mentioning the rumors that Jasper dislikes Ariana. She claims she can help Jasper escape from Ariana's treasure chest. Hearing this, Jasper is completely surprised, unclear about her motives. Jasper's expression turns stern as he demands to know what Rosalind is talking about. He reminds her that even with few people around, she should watch her words and actions. Rosalind defends herself with hurt, saying she genuinely wants to help him escape his predicament. She fervently believes her master can surely rescue Jasper from this hell. She praises it as a sacred and beautiful light of salvation. Jasper privately doubts whether the Duke's daughter genuinely wants to help or if this is madness. Her words and behavior seem familiar, yet he can't recall where from. Jasper struggles internally, though he desperately craves freedom. In the end, he decisively chooses to refuse. From every perspective, Rosalind's proposal is completely unfeasible. Rosalind is full of hurt, not understanding why her good intentions are rejected. Jasper firmly states he has someone he must protect, and having become a jewel, he must take responsibility for this identity. He has no desire to anger Her Highness. He'll act as if he never heard this proposal. Even after being rejected, Rosalind remains obsessed. She deeply loves even Jasper's cold demeanor. She hopes Jasper won't keep her waiting foolishly forever. At the residence, the Scarlet Lady speaks first, mentioning the banquet the Emperor will host this weekend. Balthazar's tone is full of disdain, saying even women without the rose title will attend. The Scarlet Lady mocks. It's a banquet for royal family members. Melissa Goodwin will also attend. How ridiculous. Cassius worries that Ariana is too prominent and will affect their succession plans. Balthazar is indignant, dissatisfied that Ariana collects jewel men everywhere and acts like the heir. The Scarlet Lady knows well there will be no shortage of verbal battles at the banquet. She plans to bring up the matter of the jewels at the banquet. She'll subtly slander Ariana's chaotic private life and damage the royal family's prestige. She instructs Balthazar to seize the moment and curry favor with his majesty. Balthazar assures her he won't miss the opportunity his mother carefully prepared. Cassius inwardly complains that his brother would be better off staying quiet. His flattering manner is utterly ridiculous. He just needs to stay out and watch the show. The Scarlet Lady calls her younger son Cassius over. She asks if he's clear about his role. Cassius says he'll use his eloquence to guide his brother into becoming the focus. Balthazar scornfully mocks Cassius as just a petty schemer who can't accomplish great things. The Scarlet Lady's ambition shows fully as she declares the Crown Prince position must belong to her son. Ariana sighs contentedly, wishing every day could pass this peacefully and lazily. She's immersed in the company of the Brian Pack's puppies and finds it wonderful. She begged Captain Julian for a long time before being allowed to temporarily care for the puppies. A maid comes to remind her to change into her banquet gown. Lieutenant Timothy comes to take the puppies back. Ariana is surprised at how quickly time has flown. The maid can't help but exclaim, complaining about Ariana being covered in black fur. Lieutenant Timothy urges her to shower quickly. After meeting with the jewels, she must attend the banquet. Ariana instructs Nathaniel to wait patiently for her in the waiting room. Nathaniel respectfully responds that he'll wait for her properly. He can't help fantasizing. She might be super cute. Ariana explains to the jewels that tonight is the royal family banquet hosted by the emperor. Veronica will surely take the opportunity at the banquet to criticize her. She'll definitely mention them and then slander her character. Ignis burns with rage and immediately wants to go seize Veronica to vent. Rainard quickly holds him back. Nathaniel states he's already been diligently collecting evidence and tells Ariana to rest assured. Ariana reminds everyone not to let their guard down. Veronica excels at manipulating the atmosphere. Bayuha responds gravely that the woman will turn the atmosphere to her advantage the moment she gets a chance. Ariana knows Veronica's methods well. The Empress has suffered greatly because of them. Now she and the Empress hold a lethal weapon and must dominate this banquet. The atmosphere is enthusiastic, but Jasper is absorbed in writing. Ariana calls out to Jasper in confusion, but he shows no response. She informs Jasper that dismissal time has arrived and everyone has already gone to enjoy dinner. Jasper snaps back to attention, surprised why Ariana hasn't left yet. Ariana notices the Mauritian language in his notebook and asks if he has worries. Upon hearing this, the close proximity throws Jasper into confusion. Staring at Ariana's lips, Jasper can't control his heartbeat. The next second, her intense fragrance reaches him, further disrupting his composure. He keeps telling himself to calm down. He's just a bit flustered. Standing up, he says coldly that if she wants to tactfully ask about the Meridia language, he can only refuse. He repeatedly warns himself, just treat her coldly as usual. But the moment he walks out the door, surging emotions overwhelm him. He can't understand why he's like this. Why is the regret of not receiving a kiss so intense? He comforts himself that it must be the perfume being too strong that made him accidentally lose his rationality. In the meeting room, Ariana keenly senses something. She can't help but laugh aloud. She has a premonition that something interesting will definitely happen next. At the banquet venue, Ariana just enters. The Scarlet Lady strikes first, mocking her for arriving too late. She calmly responds that she's not late. The Emperor and Empress haven't arrived yet. Just as she finishes speaking, Melissa, the Emperor's second consort, excitedly rushes over to embrace her. She says she's been waiting at the door for her to appear. Melissa comes from the middle class, lives frugally and simply, and never causes trouble for the royal family. She's Hadrian's mother, kind by nature, detests palace schemes and conflicts, and frequently makes donations. Even the Empress is kind and warm to her. No wonder the Emperor likes her. Ariana also likes her very much. She has to find ways every day to avoid Veronica's fiery jealousy. Ariana warns the Scarlet Lady that the Emperor instructed her to get along well with Melissa, but the Scarlet Lady, thick-skinned, claims she and Melissa had a very pleasant conversation. She asks Melissa back with a threatening tone. Ariana soothingly holds Melissa's hand and says they rarely meet except at charity events. She invites Melissa to her next afternoon tea party and leads her to their seats. Hadrian quietly thanks her for protecting his mother when he's too weak to do so himself. He proactively offers to craft new treasure decorations for her. This is what he does best. Ariana directly specifies the pearl should use a spiral-shaped Azure Imperial No. 36 gem. As the announcement sounds, the Emperor and Empress enter. The Emperor states tonight's banquet is prepared for family reunion. He hopes everyone will enjoy themselves. Everyone responds in unison. The Emperor then invites everyone to be seated and taste the appetizers. The Empress happily remarks that the Emperor actually remembered her favorite foods. The Emperor thanks her for her hard work. Hadrian is surprised Ariana is eating so much. She ignores his sarcasm and simply says thank you. Cassius gives Hadrian an item that looks very much like him. Hadrian is somewhat taken aback. The banquet progresses to the end. Finally, it's time for the desserts everyone's been waiting for. The Emperor says with a smile that he specially prepared his youngest daughter's favorite desserts. Ariana is filled with joy. She expresses her gratitude to the Emperor. Seeing this, the Scarlet Lady immediately acts coquettishly and clings to the Emperor, wanting to talk. The Emperor is somewhat apologetic that he hasn't had time to talk with her. The Scarlet Lady immediately and excitedly talks about recent happenings in high society. There's now a trend called Queen's Collection Syndrome. The Emperor is completely puzzled about what this means. The Scarlet Lady explains that it refers to women treating men as collectibles for pleasure. She shifts her focus and points the finger at Ariana. This trend only emerged after her jewels appeared. Those women in high society, in order to emulate Ariana's collection of jewels, they don't hesitate to trample noble women's virtue and imitate this improper behavior. This is the so-called Queen's Collection Syndrome. Balthazar says he agrees with his mother and denounces Queen's Collection Syndrome as utterly sick. He bluntly states that noble women who don't keep their chastity will thoroughly corrupt social morals. If jewel enthusiasts increase and choose not to marry, noble society may head toward extinction. Ariana, as a princess, should be a role model, yet she possesses 5 lovers. This clearly disregards her betrothed, Duke Clarence. Hearing this, Ariana scoffs that Balthazar is getting old. yet no young lady is willing to be engaged to him. His younger brother Cassius, not even of age, has had several young ladies propose, and she herself has quite a few suitors. Cassius privately smirks. Every one of Ariana's words strikes Balthazar's sore spots. Ariana continues to cut deep. Although princes have more freedom in marriage, he's only had one proposal, which he rejected. The Scarlet Lady hastily defends that she felt that family wasn't worthy of Balthazar. This was her careful consideration. Ariana doesn't bother exposing this and instead mentions her only concern about the jewels. She worries that because of their outstanding looks, their abilities are underestimated. They're all exceptional talents dedicated to the system. Balthazar sneers that even if they're exceptional, their behavior appears utterly shameful in others' eyes. Ariana retorts sarcastically that if he's capable, he should also go find talents to assist him. She teases that he'd probably need a division of people. Balthazar furiously accuses her of talking nonsense. He declares he needs no assistance. He can reach the top by his own strength. That's what a ruler is. Balthazar looks over smugly. He assumes Ariana is intimidated by his presence. The next second, the Emperor slams the table and rises. He furiously rebukes Balthazar, as if he already sees himself as crown prince. Cassius muses inwardly. Hard to say if he's bold or reckless. He understands why Ariana changed the subject, but his brother is truly too self-centered. Hadrian and Melissa just want to escape this conflict and avoid being dragged into the succession struggle. The Emperor mockingly asks Balthazar where all his earlier bravado went. Now he's completely silent. The Scarlet Lady quickly speaks up, begging the Emperor not to blame Balthazar. Cassius also chimes in, saying his brother merely expressed his ambitions and still respects the Emperor in his heart. Moreover, his bold personality can boost morale, and he has merit in suppressing bandits. He smoothly states that while Ariana's abilities are indeed strong, her jokes went a bit too far. The Emperor praises Cassius for being young yet mature and steady in his conduct. Cassius humbly says he still has shortcomings. He admonishes Balthazar that the closer to the summit, the more one must be strong yet humble. Balthazar quickly responds respectfully and breathes a sigh of relief. The Emperor then turns to Ariana with a loving expression, believing she surely understands. Ariana nods affirmatively, indicating she understands. But the Empress gazes coldly at the Scarlet Lady, recalling the conversation in the study. The Countess Adelaide said the lady who embezzled from the treasury must be given a stern warning. Unconditional tolerance cannot protect the royal family. When necessary, one must raise the sword to suppress evil. If the Empress truly cares about her children and the integrity of the royal family, she must raise the sword to protect what should remain whole. Seeing the Empress call him, the Emperor immediately asks what she wants to say. The Empress responds that it's about the upcoming solar ceremony. The Emperor realizes and asks if preparations for the solar ceremony are going smoothly. The Empress says everything is going well and preparations are in full swing. The Emperor breathes easier, almost thinking something had gone wrong. He then asks if she needs support and will fully back her. Hearing this, the Empress proposes temporarily granting her access to the royal key, the Dawn Key. The Scarlet Lady hears Dawn Key and is extremely surprised. The Empress explains that someone in the palace has been tampering with the treasury, and she needs the key to catch the culprit. The Emperor has a sudden realization. No wonder the usually quiet ministers have been arguing over insufficient budgets. He's been plagued by complaints about insufficient funds all day. The Empress smiles and says she has one more matter to inform the Emperor about. The Emperor is curious and asks what else she has. The Scarlet Lady thinks to herself, is the Empress still the timid person from before? Holding the Dawn Key isn't enough. What more does she want? The Empress states with a serious expression that she has an important matter to report. The Emperor asks curiously what else the Empress has. The important role of bestowing blessings on people participating in the solar ceremony. The Lightbearer, who leads the ceremony. The Empress states directly that she wants to recommend Ariana for this role. The Scarlet Lady immediately jumps up in opposition, her tone sharp and urgent. She claims the princess is not the legitimate crown prince, and the nobles will surely disagree. The Emperor frowns and sternly silences the Scarlet Lady's clamor. He turns to the Empress and signals her to explain her reasons for recommending their daughter. The Empress is confident. She first emphasizes that Ariana's performance in all aspects far exceeds the other princes. Moreover, since Ariana employed those jewels, her influence across the continent has greatly increased. Aside from Hadrian, who contributes to agriculture, no one can match her. Even without selection, Ariana is the most outstanding candidate. Then she shifts her tone. She points out that the princes are all born of concubines, while Ariana is the legitimate daughter. She believes that, even with flaws, nominating her is completely feasible. The Empress's tone is firm. She has a legitimate child, so she's unwilling to let a concubine's son sit in that position. Moreover, as the legitimate daughter, Ariana has inherited the former crown prince's soul and will. The people and nobles will accept her assuming this role. She believes the solar ceremony needs fresh blood to attract more participation. This way, donations to the temple will also increase significantly. Seeing this, Balthazar is full of vigilance. The Empress's move clearly intends to push Ariana as crown crown prince. He can't help but inwardly regret wanting to restrain Ariana, only to be preempted by this variable. The emperor bows his head in thought, repeatedly considering the possibility of Ariana serving as light-bearer. The empress quickly adds that she firmly believes her daughter can fulfill this role. Ariana also speaks at the right moment. If she can obtain this role, it would be the highest honor for her. The emperor fantasizes about his daughter specially making a sun crown for him. He instantly beams with joy. He immediately decides to entrust everything to Ariana. Balthazar seethes on the side. Who will control this doting father? Ariana shifts her focus and points her finger at the Scarlet Lady. She feigns concern, mentioning that the Scarlet Lady recently purchased large quantities of ether crystals. Recently, many merchants skip the refinement step to save costs and illegally sell ether crystals. These inferior ether crystals have already caused multiple incidents. Ariana feigns worry that the Scarlet Lady might accidentally purchase inferior products. If problems arise, it will bring disgraceful scandal to the court. The emperor immediately turns and seriously questions whether the Scarlet Lady's situation is true. The Scarlet Lady looks flustered, her speech becoming stuttered. She hastily defends herself, claiming everything she bought is legally refined ether crystals, and thanks the princess for her concern. Seeing this, the emperor praises Ariana for her meticulous thinking and thorough consideration. The Scarlet Lady returns to her corner, growing angrier as she thinks. She resents her eldest son for having only physique, arrogant and unable to read the room. In contrast, her younger son is too cunning, calculating like a bat. She never expected both sons couldn't match one girl. The plan was about to succeed, but her eldest son ruined it. She's full of doubt. How could Ariana know about the ether crystals? The Scarlet Lady is completely puzzled. It's as if she's seen her secret ledger. She racks her brain but can't figure out where she discovered it. Isn't she afraid of her destroying the evidence? Why say it publicly? Is it a trap or simply a warning? How should she respond? She makes up her mind to avoid these dangerous factors as much as possible going forward. Melissa on the side feels helpless. When will they take the Scarlet Lady down a peg so she can live peacefully? Returning to her residence, Ariana sighs, feeling utterly exhausted in body and mind. From now on, she just needs to closely monitor the Scarlet Lady's movements. She recalls Raynard's words and plans to quietly wait for the opponent to fall into the trap. The moment Nathaniel sees Ariana return, he immediately steps forward and embraces her tightly. He buries his head in Ariana's neck, his posture intimate and dependent. Ariana pushes him away without hesitation, her tone icy. She sternly warns Nathaniel not to do this without permission. Ariana sternly reminds Nathaniel that he can't just barge in like this, but Nathaniel can't help himself and gently kisses her wrist, apologizing guiltily. He admits he can't obey her order to wait patiently. Ariana scolds him in embarrassed anger, saying he must pay the price for his impatience. Nathaniel obediently removes his clothes, his eyes sincere as he says he'd rather accept punishment than wait for her in such confusion. He moves closer step by step, declaring passionately that his love for her has never required any restraint. This confession completely moves Ariana. She surrenders, calling out to Nathaniel with a trembling voice. Inside the residence, the Scarlet Lady berates Balthazar harshly, cursing him for being worthless every single time. She believed he would become emperor and grant her the honor of being Empress Dowager, so she has devoted everything to cultivating him. But in the end, he's still beyond help. Balthazar lowers his head, apologizing guiltily to his mother. He promises to work harder, but the Scarlet Lady looks thoroughly annoyed and tells him to shut up. She recalls the guards informing her that the residence security is their responsibility by imperial decree, and her movements are no longer free. And after Serena obtained Eros, surveillance has become increasingly strict, and entertainment expenses have been drastically reduced. The treasury funds she once could embezzle are now locked away, completely inaccessible. This makes funding that side extremely difficult, especially after spending so much on magic ore purchases. She's deeply frustrated. Her youngest son is clever but too young and frail to participate in the selection. Sinister thoughts emerge as she debates whether to kill Ariana and make it look like an accident or have another child as backup. The Scarlet Lady forces herself to calm down. The urgent priority now is solving the money problem. Her expression turns vicious. Though she doesn't want to use this method, she has no choice. She makes up her mind to mass-produce that thing. The Scarlet Lady unleashes all her rage on Balthazar. She furiously berates his incompetence, saying this is all his fault, that things became this way because of him. She looks at him with disgust. What a useless fool. She bluntly states she doesn't want to see him anymore and orders him to get out immediately. Balthazar suppresses his hurt feelings and respectfully announces his departure in a low voice. Turning to leave, he finds a handkerchief to press against his wound. Memories flood over him like a tidal wave, making Balthazar feel suffocated. As a child, he excitedly ran to his mother with good news. He got straight A+s on his administrative studies exam. The Scarlet Lady responded coldly, giving a casual acknowledgement that she knew. The next second, she viciously tore the test paper in her hands to shreds. Her tone was cold and cutting, as she pointed out that he was pushed to second place by the Empress's daughter and couldn't even make the public news. If he couldn't be first place like like Crown Prince Ares at such a young age, then it was meaningless. At the sword training grounds, Balthazar was practicing diligently. The Scarlet Lady slowly walked past, observing his swordplay, which instantly made him extremely nervous. He couldn't help but instinctively steal glances at his mother. The next second, the sword slipped from his hand. His instructor sternly told him to focus. No distractions during sword practice. Balthazar fell in front of the Scarlet Lady, yearning for his mother to gently pick him up and comfort him. But when he looked up, he only saw his mother's eyes filled with disappointed frustration and disgust. That look terrified him. The overwhelming memories make him wonder what he even means to his mother. As he stands dazed and lost, a voice calls out, interrupting his chaotic and painful thoughts. Balthazar looks up, surprised to find the Empress approaching. The Empress looks at him with concern, noting the wounds covering his head. Balthazar can't help but recall the past, when he once stumbled upon Ariana and the Empress together while passing through the garden. Back then, he became mesmerized without realizing it, watching Ariana playing in the Empress's embrace, her face beaming with happiness. This was the warm embrace he'd always longed for from his own mother. Faced with the Empress's unexpected concern, Balthazar initially wants to turn away coldly, but the Empress grabs him, urgently asking him to wait. The Empress looks at his injuries with distress, asking how this happened. Balthazar pretends not to care, reminding the Empress she's in her fasting prayer period and shouldn't trouble herself over him, but the Empress angrily refuses, not accepting his deflection at all. The Empress immediately orders servants to prepare treatment and pulls him along. Balthazar tries to resist, but she uses her authority as Empress, commanding him to comply with treatment. This reminds him of Ariana, in the past, with her soft, adorable face, insisting on treating his wounds, helplessly calling him foolish Balthazar. Back then, he secretly complained that Ariana's medical skills were truly terrible. After the Empress finishes treating his wounds, she worries that the forehead injury is severe and might leave a scar. She thoughtfully suggests he use his bangs to cover the scar on his forehead. Balthazar thanks her quietly, his voice tinged with awkward discomfort. To avoid suspicion, he stubbornly tries to leave. Just as he stands, the Empress suddenly grabs his arm. The next second, she pulls him into her embrace. Balthazar speaks in panic, completely unprepared for such a gesture from the Empress. The Empress smiles, reminding him he promised to cooperate, and the treatment isn't truly finished yet. She gently strokes Balthazar's head, saying she cared for Ares the same way when he was injured as a child. She recalls how young Ariana would lie on her lap and complain after clashing with the princes during sword lessons. Hearing this, Balthazar looks thoroughly embarrassed and apologizes to the Empress for his mischievous behavior as a child. The Empress responds kindly, saying she's glad he's willing to talk like this. Balthazar's heart fills with envy. Ares and Ariana grew up surrounded by such warm affection. He can't help but think of his own mother. Balthazar immediately feels deeply wronged, holding back tears. The Empress speaks with sympathy, mentioning she's aware of the Scarlet Lady's bad temper. Her door is always open to him, and he's welcome anytime. Balthazar's heart warms, and he quietly expresses his gratitude to the Empress. In early summer of Sacred Era X306, the Luminary Declaration ceremony takes place as scheduled. Ariana, as the first princess, addresses the guests and priests in attendance. The priest representative explains they learned through the Emperor's letter that this great responsibility has been entrusted to Ariana, who bears the holy sword and armor. She promises to make this solar ceremony the grandest ever. A noble in the audience lets out a contemptuous snicker, questioning the princess's role as host. His tone mocking, he suggests the solar ceremony has become an occasion for admiring flowers and pretty decorations. The temple priests burn with anger, harshly rebuking the noble's rudeness, saying he can't even see that the princess is favored by the gods. Any Tom, Dick, or Harry can attend the solar ceremony now. Enraged, the noble insults the priests back, calling them backwards parasites living off the temple, daring to insult him. High Priest Gavin quickly speaks up, trying to restore order between both sides, but the argument doesn't stop. Cardinal Alexius watches the chaos before him, his tone full of displeasure. He knows well these nobles belong to that woman's faction, but he didn't expect them to be this arrogant. Ariana can no longer tolerate this. She walks onto the floor step by step, holding her long sword. Her eyes are ice cold, the blade pointing directly at the noble who just insulted her. She threatens slowly and deliberately. Does she need to cut out his tongue for him to be quiet? Ariana emphasizes seriously that this is the sacred temple devoted to the chief deity. Using the Archino Treaty as an excuse to spout such arrogance before the high priests, she will certainly report this to the emperor and hold them accountable. This constitutes blasphemy against the gods and insulting the masses, a first-degree crime. As a representative of the nobility, she bluntly states she's ashamed these people exist. High Priest Stellar nods in praise, commending her excellence and the dignity befitting her status. Ariana suddenly understands. This was all a test from His Holiness, including inviting those unworthy individuals. His Holiness nods in acknowledgement but states this test was merely a simple opportunity. He asks if she understands the deeper meaning of presiding over the solar ceremony. She clearly explains that this test is to determine whether she's suitable to become the next emperor. His Holiness speaks with certainty, declaring the gods have recognized her capabilities and hope she becomes emperor. His Holiness announces resoundingly that the chief deity will assess through the solar ceremony whether Ariana is worthy of the imperial throne. He further states the gods greatly recognize her strength and hope she can become emperor. Ariana's expression turns solemn as she vows to execute the solar ceremony flawlessly, ensuring all activities conclude successfully. May the gods bless this solar ceremony with success. The declaration ceremony concludes perfectly. Rainard congratulates Ariana joyfully. She looks at Rainard, her words meaningful, saying her father has granted her the power to punish those who offend. Rainard immediately grasps her meaning and responds respectfully that he understands. Outside the city, Rainard delivers heavy punches to the noble who disrespected the princess earlier. The man ends up bruised and battered, curled on the ground begging for mercy. The intense pain makes him cry out miserably while nearby nobles tremble with fear. But Rainard doesn't stop. All of this is for his Empress. The handmaiden helps Ariana change into red attire, sincerely praising how exceptionally suitable the color looks on her. Another handmaiden quickly agrees, saying if Duke Ashford's words prove true, she will become the symbol of red. Ariana lets out a soft hum. She's simply reclaiming what's hers, thinking how she once avoided things she loved because others disliked them. The handmaiden keenly notices her distraction, puzzled that she shows no joy despite gaining hosting rights. Ariana hastily covers up, claiming she's naturally happy to have the Empress's support, but the handmaidens don't buy it, teasing that after following her for so many years, they clearly recognize she's thinking about a handsome man. Ariana reluctantly admits that gaining hosting rights for the solar ceremony and getting closer to the throne is certainly good, but she doesn't want to miss the chance to meet Cardinal Silas. She hopes the cardinal will attend the solar ceremony. In the past, she could only admire him from afar. His appearance like a pure white deer captivated her heart. The handmaidens all agree that for noble ladies everywhere, he's the perfect idol to admire. Nathaniel's cold voice suddenly breaks in, bluntly saying she even wants the cardinal. She's too greedy. Ariana is displeased that Nathaniel interferes with her more and more. Nathaniel apologizes sincerely, admitting it's just slight jealousy, but the deep-rooted conflict between the Blake family and Astral Temple will surely cause trouble later. But Ariana doesn't care, believing that's not a problem for her. Nathaniel sighs softly, finally voicing his inner worry. He doesn't care about others, but doesn't want temple people to become her jewels. He states bluntly that people still exist in the temple who once ignored divine will and tried to control his family. Though he's one of her many jewels, his heart belongs only to her. He doesn't want jealousy to make him lose his rationality. Ariana is moved deep down by his straightforward words. Nathaniel shifts tone, complaining that his recent concessions have made her gradually neglectful of him. His tone coaxing, he states bluntly that as long as it makes her forget about others, he doesn't mind reminding her of what he's capable of. Ariana flushes with embarrassment and panic, hastily reminding him there are still people around. She looks around, only to discover the handmaidens have already vanished. Nathaniel smiles triumphantly. No one will disturb them now. They have plenty of time. The room immediately fills with passion. The next day, Ariana feels frustrated. Sure enough, spending time with Nathaniel means all of the next day's schedule gets cancelled. The handmaidens can't help but giggle, teasingly asking if she slept well last night. They then present a mountain of letters. Ariana frowns. The handmaiden quickly explains she's already filtered out most of the love letters. And King of Glycia also sent a letter. But since the content was entirely about courtship and too cloying, she burned it in a fit of anger. Ariana praises her approvingly, saying narcissists deserve elimination. The other handmaiden is secretly shocked. What exactly happened before? Only the princess dares to disregard a foreign king so completely. They sort through the pile and inform her there are two important letters. As they speak, they first hand over one of them. Ariana takes the letter, and her expression instantly becomes grave. The letter is written in pure gold ink, adorned with black snakeskin, on expensive black silk paper. This grade of stationery can only be used by one family on this continent. No, only by that one person. That would be her fiancé, Duke Clarence. In Maximus Clarence's letter, he writes that he has been in Sant'Elena for 3 whole years. Though it's an independent, small nation, it has merits. Sant'Elena produces quality goods at affordable prices that could benefit Aurelia, and the food is delicious. He looks forward to sharing it with Ariana someday. His work is nearly done, and he will soon return to Ariana's side. Looking at the densely written words of longing, Ariana's expression remains cold. She tosses the letter aside with disgust. It's a political marriage arranged approached by her father. Where's the love in that? At least it should be pure-hearted like Prince Ignis for it to be called love. Ariana's heart softens, suddenly missing him deeply. As the main commander of the monster subjugation force, he's currently out campaigning. She asks the handmaiden questioningly if there's no letter from Solaria. The handmaiden quickly indicates the other one is. Seeing the golden silk paper, Ariana instantly realizes it's written by Solarian royalty. The letter spans 2 full pages, covered in dense handwriting. After Ariana carefully reads it with curiosity, the contents shock her deeply. In the letter, Talia respectfully addresses her as Princess Ariana of Aurelia and wishes her well. The letter mentions the approaching solar ceremony, with everyone busy preparing, and congratulates her on becoming a luminary. She will attend Aurelia's solar ceremony as Solaria's representative alongside her husband. She hopes to meet and speak with Ariana during the solar ceremony. If Ariana accepts, she will forever be her supporter and offer full assistance. The signature reads, Crown Princess Talia Diorlana. Ariana panics, asking if she did anything wrong at the procession ceremony. Talia is universally recognized as a formidable figure who controls not only the royal registry and political power, but also stabilized the nation during the magic crystal turmoil. Why would such a person suddenly want to meet her? She's heard rumors of Talia subduing monsters barehanded, and knows she never loses in social battles. The handmaiden quickly reassures her that her performance was perfect. Ariana helplessly tells herself it's probably just routine political rhetoric. The Duke's matter is already troublesome enough, and now there's Talia. Ariana feels overwhelmed. She's deeply troubled, unsure whether to be happy or worried about Talia's proposal. Ariana takes a deep breath, forcing herself to calm down. She decides to, temporarily, set aside Clarence and his pro-prince faction, prioritizing Talia instead. Talia will be Solaria's queen in the future. With her support, becoming heir to the throne will be easier. She decides right then to adjust her schedule for Talia. 30 days before the solar ceremony, father and daughter dine alone. The Emperor praises Ariana for her dedicated preparations for the solar ceremony, saying she's truly his daughter. She must be the great blessing the chief deity bestowed upon him and Serena. Ariana appears bashful and thanks him with a smile, but she knows well that though her father dotes on her, if she performs poorly, this affection could vanish any time. She will never allow anyone to steal her intimate moments with her father. The Emperor mentions Delansia's saying 1 good daughter is worth 10 sons, and affectionately says this describes Ariana perfectly. He then promises that after the solar ceremony, he'll take her to inspect the border she's always wanted to visit. Ariana is thrilled, talking enthusiastically about her knowledge of and interest in the border, hoping her father will teach her tactical management. The Emperor is amused by her. Since she's so interested in governance and imperial studies, how could he bear to refuse? He hasn't seen her like this since her 13th birthday. Ariana feels a bit embarrassed. The Emperor smiles and tells her not to mind, urging her to eat more. Ariana obediently agrees and picks up her utensils to continue eating. At this moment, the Emperor suddenly mentions that Ariana's fiancé Clarence will soon return. Ariana can only bite the bullet and respond that the Duke has already informed her of this through his letter. The Clarence family is the longest-standing house aside from Blake, capable of suppressing other noble factions. Crucial indeed, the current Duke Clarence diplomatic achievements are unmatched. The Emperor states seriously that as her father, he will fully support her marriage to Clarence. The Clarence ducal house is among the finest existing families, capable of suppressing other noble factions. The Emperor speaks earnestly, saying as her father he will fully support her union with the Duke. Ariana sighs, only able to respond respectfully that she understands. The Emperor states he'll host a homecoming banquet for the Duke to deepen their relationship, ensuring he can serve the imperial family in the future. He also instructs Ariana not to stay too close to her jewels at the banquet and to attend to her fiancé more. Ariana feels resentful inside. The Emperor is reminding her to fulfill her political responsibilities as princess. Her previous jewel collecting behavior was merely tolerated by him. Now she must return to the real matter of the political marriage. Ariana forces a smile and answers yes, her tone somewhat distant. Back at her residence, Ariana feels unsettled. Spending time with her jewels these past months, she'd completely forgotten about him. She truly can't muster any interest in this fiancé. She has no impression of his appearance or personality whatsoever. Her only memory is him trying to kiss her before going abroad, which enraged her so much she slapped him hard across the face. Other noble ladies think the Duke is handsome, but Ariana inexplicably dislikes him. Ariana lies down feeling irritated and restless. A man's figure vaguely surfaces in her mind. She closes her eyes with a heart full of worries, wanting to ease her fatigue, but Rainard suddenly appears silently, kissing her lips when she's completely unguarded. Ariana reacts swiftly, immediately reaching out to grab Rainard and deepening the kiss further. Rainard is slightly surprised, then smiles teasingly, saying Ariana wasn't asleep at all. He gently asks Ariana. She seems troubled right now. He tells Ariana to entrust her worries to him as always and simply rely on him as her future empress. Ariana is amused by him, teasing that Rainard is like a cunning golden fox. She rolls over, pinning Rainard beneath her, reclaiming control. This continues until just before the banquet begins. At the banquet venue, Ariana's expression is grave, full of dissatisfaction yet helpless. She deliberately matched her outfit with Rainard's, only to have her plans disrupted. The Emperor reminds her that the Duke is the star of the banquet and forbids her from staying with her jewels. Ariana fumes helplessly. He's actually requiring her to stay by the Duke's side. She was so looking forward to unbuttoning Raynard's vest after the banquet. But now, she's deeply worried the Emperor will demand she accompany the Duke even after the banquet ends. Ariana feels utterly bored. Leaning on the railing, she looks down, immediately spotting her jewels below, her gaze full of longing. Raynard immediately smiles and waves at her, his eyes full of affection and tenderness. Ariana's cheeks instantly flush, her heartbeat quickening involuntarily. She feels deeply dejected. If not for the Emperor's order, she should be with them right now. Ariana sits idly leaning against the railing, causing quite a stir below. Ignis notices and feels secretly annoyed. He was only gone briefly, and they're already coveting the princess. He feels deeply wronged, questioning why Ariana said she missed him yet wears a matching outfit with Raynard. Nathaniel reminds Ignis that while in Aurelia, one must obey the Emperor's commands. Raynard teases him not to let his guard down over one statement of missing him. Being able to serve by her side makes him very fortunate. Bayuha laments that he can't be by Ariana's side. Jasper also misses the princess's protective shield. Suddenly, Jasper hides behind Bayuha, like a startled cat with fur standing on end. His eyes are full of vigilance. At this moment, a familiar voice greets Jasper. Jasper is on high alert. That familiar hem, could it be the person he's thinking of? Regina slowly emerges from the shadows, her gaze locked firmly on Jasper, her eyes dark and unreadable. Regina approaches Jasper proactively, wanting to relieve his boredom. She mentions tonight's banquet, wanting to invite him to spend it with her. Before she finishes speaking, she's forcibly taken away again. Jasper looks at Bayuha questioningly. Bayuha explains he didn't summon Duke Timber's party. Hearing this, Jasper turns his head in confusion, meeting Ariana's doting gaze directly. He instantly becomes shy, turning his head away proudly, a faint blush coloring his cheeks. In the distance, Regina stares at Jasper with a sinister look, the fury in her eyes nearly overflowing. At this moment, a doll walks up to the second floor playfully, telling Ariana she can't just abandon him. Ariana teases that he's full of tricks. Raynard smiles slyly. The Emperor said nothing about dolls not being allowed by her side. He just needs to say the jewels gave this gift because they worried the princess would be lonely. The Emperor wouldn't be heartless enough to throw away his daughter's doll. Ariana is delighted, affectionately thanking her dear Mr. Golden Fox. She looks at the lip print on the doll, unable to help exclaiming how adorable it is. Just then, the crowd suddenly erupts into commotion. Ariana glances over curiously and is instantly stunned. She can't help but complain, not understanding why that person would appear at the banquet dressed like that. A tragedy, as if he hasn't attended a social event in 30 years. Someone hesitantly identifies him as seemingly Duke Clarence. Everyone finds it hard to believe that's supposedly Princess Ariana's legendary fiancé. Duke Clarence's bizarre appearance looks like a walking disaster in Ariana's eyes. Seeing this, the Emperor also hesitates. Forcing composure, he states this banquet is held to celebrate Duke Clarence's return. He emphasizes heavily that the Duke has long served the Empire, dedicating himself to establishing good diplomatic relations with smaller nations. The Emperor hesitates as he introduces Clarence as not only a meritorious subject, but also Ariana's fiancé. The jewels are all shocked at the sight. The Emperor ignores everything, inviting everyone to raise their glasses to his contributions. Ariana is completely petrified, unable to believe that man is her fiancé. Ignis mutters that the imperial family wouldn't bring a pig and claim it's her fiancé, would they? Nathaniel quickly reminds him to watch his words. Bayuha is also puzzled. He heard Clarence was once as sharp as a serpent in society. How could he be like this? Raynard can't control his laughter. This is truly an unexpectedly good show. Jasper quickly reminds him he's laughing too loudly. Hearing Raynard's laughter, Ariana feels her world crumbles. What on earth is happening? The noble ladies discuss that the last country Clarence visited specializes in producing cheap goods. Ariana keeps saying this can't be right. She absolutely cannot accept this reality. There are chubby but cute men in the world, but Clarence doesn't look cute no matter how you look at him. Add to that this outfit. She truly can't understand what style this is supposed to be. This style is practically the definition of cheap. Ariana despairs. Not only will Balthazar mock her, but Bellatrix, that annoying witch, certainly will too. This fiancé's existence will become a major flaw of hers. The handmaiden quickly approaches, asking with concern what's wrong. Ariana melancholically tells the handmaiden to bring some strong liquor, to secretly mix the spirits into red wine. She desperately needs alcohol to get herself drunk. The handmaiden doesn't dare delay and quickly complies. Ariana downs glass after glass, and soon she's intoxicated. She even hopes she can just faint right here and escape from all this. At this moment, Clarence suddenly appears, greeting her with an excited tone. He asks worriedly if Ariana has had too much to drink. Ariana's eyes are hazy with drink as she recognizes the person before her as Duke Clarence. Clarence immediately expresses with deep emotion that he's finally returned to Ariana's side. Ariana can no longer support herself. Her body goes limp. In her fading consciousness, she calls out Nathaniel's name, begging for rescue. But Clarence doesn't notice her resistance at all, still rambling on about how much he's missed her. The next second, Nathaniel suddenly appears, catching Ariana firmly. Clarence calls out urgently to stop him, asking Nathaniel displeasedly what he's doing. Nathaniel responds stiffly and dismissively that the princess was too happy and accidentally drank too much. The emotional reunion can wait until tomorrow. Clarence insists this is his responsibility and demands Nathaniel hand her over to him. Nathaniel coldly reminds him he still needs to greet many guests. The princess can be left to him. Clarence becomes frantic, calling out loudly trying to stop them. The next second, all the princess's jewels gather to escort Ariana. Everyone exclaims what a feast for the eyes this is. Rainard walks up to Clarence, his tone dripping with mocking sarcasm. He teases that if he were Clarence's fiancé, he'd definitely break off the engagement on the spot. His current appearance makes him look exactly like a clown. Seeing her headache, Nathaniel scolds her but with heartache, asking why she drank so much. Ariana apologizes softly. Nathaniel gently interrupts, asking her to tell him "I love you." Ariana obediently responds, "I love you." The jewels thoughtfully say they'll handle the solar ceremony matters for her. She should rest easy. Ariana nods reassured and falls into deep sleep surrounded by her jewels. Clarence stands before a mirror, gradually feeling inferior as he looks at himself. He recalls Ignis Casanova, the second prince of the Solarian royal family and commander of the Achilles Legion. Bayuha, called the lunar immortal in Delansia, general of the king's direct intelligence force. Jasper of House Marino, second son who can read trends precisely. Rainard Ashford, known as Glycia's golden fox for his exceptional cunning, is among them too. And there's Nathaniel Blake, head of the world-renowned Estrella Divine Beast clan. These are all top-tier handsome men who possess both looks and talent. He can't help but wonder, does the princess collecting jewels mean collecting handsome men? But he's the complete opposite of her preferences. He recalls nobles discussing how his attire at the banquet was too ridiculous. They pitied Ariana, saying her fiancé is so unattractive. Truly pitiful. The Empress joked that Clarence certainly didn't neglect his stomach during his diplomatic missions. The Emperor also thinks he should at least lose some weight first. He painfully realizes that his talent, power, and abilities hold no appeal before the jewels. Unwillingness surges in his heart. He tells himself he must lose weight. If he could be dazzling like the jewels, he would surely attract the princess. Then he could become Ariana's best husband and chief jewel. Just as he makes this resolution, his sister Margarita storms in furiously. She's trembling with anger, rebuking him for his outrageous attire at the homecoming banquet, demanding how he could get so fat. It's spread throughout society, making her too embarrassed to attend parties. Clarence hastily promises he'll lose weight. Margarita roars, ordering him to go to Sir Braden immediately to lose weight. The Emperor looks at Ariana with helplessness, mentioning how she humiliated Clarence completely at the banquet. Ariana looks troubled, stating bluntly she's utterly mortified. The Emperor expresses understanding, admitting this isn't her fault. He tactfully states that Clarence is too shocking in every way. At this moment, Clarence is working on losing weight. The Emperor instructs her earnestly that at least Clarence is nominally her fiancé, the partner and husband who will spend life with her in the future. She shouldn't display her lovers in public, betraying and humiliating her fiancé. He asks her how she would feel if he treated the Empress this way. Ariana apologizes again guiltily. The Emperor states helplessly that this matter has become too big among nobles. He has no choice but to order house arrest. During confinement, aside from her fiancé, she's strictly restricted from meeting other men. She must focus on preparing matters related to the solar ceremony. Ariana is buried in mountains of documents, aching all over from handling them. What's more infuriating is over half the work documents are actually date invitations. She really wants to teach these lunatics sending invitations a harsh lesson. At this moment, she misses her jewels immensely. Just thinking about being bound by premarital celibacy before fully winning over Jasper makes her deeply sad. Helplessly, she pulls out a Handsome Men magazine to ease her frustration. This magazine is actually the mythology book she found before to learn about Nathaniel's family. The book's exterior is plain, but the content is rich. Last time she only read halfway through. She's hesitating whether to open the book and continue reading. Just then, knocking suddenly comes from the window. She walks to the balcony puzzled and carefully opens the window. A strong wind suddenly blows in. A phoenix bird lands steadily on the windowsill, shocking her. It's actually Ignis. Ignis explains he heard she was under house arrest and missed her so much he had to come see her. Leaning in his embrace, she can't help but sigh that the real person is indeed the best. She curiously asks Ignis how he got in when there are magic barriers everywhere. Ignis laughs proudly, mysteriously saying he has his ways. He secretly gloats. Nathaniel was ordered by the Emperor not to approach. Jasper and Rainard are busy assisting the Empress. As for Bayuha, he added sleeping pills to his favorite Japanese sweets. He won't mention these little tricks. Ignis extends an invitation, asking if she wants to soar through the night sky together. He's found a place the Emperor can't discover. He suggests going there first to get some fresh air and temporarily escape this tedious confinement. Ariana lets out a surprised cry and is already flying through the air. At a secret location, the two release all their longing from these past days under the moonlight. Meanwhile, a gust of wind suddenly sweeps through the room. The book pages flip continuously in the wind, as if guiding towards something. Finally, the book stops at a certain page, which clearly reads Onyx City, the sacred land of the divine beast Blake family. Astrian. Nathaniel just returns home, only to be questioned by his mother Beatrice about what's going on. He didn't appear with her Highness the Princess today. The sun must be rising in the west. His sister Penelope chimes in from the side, her tone full of teasing, saying he couldn't have performed poorly and been rejected by the princess, could he? Nathaniel's face flushes as he explains it was His Majesty the Emperor who ordered him not to approach the princess. He simply came home early to see his father. He wasn't abandoned. Besides, the sacred day of Hervin for the siblings is approaching. Hearing this, Beatrice understands, roughly guessing what he and his father will discuss. The next second, Nathaniel's father Oberon suddenly appears, his expression serious as he directly orders Nathaniel to come to his office. Olaf's expression turns grave as he asks if there's been any discord with the princess. Nathaniel immediately denies it, insisting there's no conflict between them. Hearing this, Olaf breathes a sigh of relief. He reflects that though the Bryan family was blessed by the gods to serve the main deity, their arrogance brought divine punishment, a crucial warning that the family must not ignore the world's greater tides. He reminds Nathaniel that only through the favor of the first princess, beloved by the main deity, was the Bryan family able to rebuild. He solemnly instructs Nathaniel that he must win the princess's affection, as she is the emperor's most cherished child. Nathaniel responds respectfully, though doubt lingers in his heart. After a moment's hesitation, Nathaniel finally speaks up, asking his father if he's noticed anything unusual. Olaf looks puzzled and presses him about what seems strange. Nathaniel speaks bluntly, stating that the family's near downfall wasn't simply divine will. Olaf's brow furrows as he asks what it was. Then, Nathaniel explains that while serving the princess, he investigated secretly and discovered the family had fallen into a trap set by certain forces. He asserts that the cause of the family's decline was the long silent temple purist movement. Olaf flies into a rage upon hearing this, condemning these people as arrogant and presumptuous. He asks through gritted teeth what caused this faction to rise again. Nathaniel sighs in frustration. The temple appears to have been infiltrated by the Crimson Rose faction. Mother's past rejection of that woman's proposal, along with these people's ambitions, became the catalyst for everything. Olaf sighs that those who should have remained loyal have now allied with that mad woman who dreams of becoming Empress Dowager. He must admit that Veronica's influence in courting the temple purists is growing stronger by the day. Veronica has also been cultivating support for two princes among the faithful. Her purpose is clear: to place her own children on the throne. Olaf feels fortunate that Her Highness's timely appearance turned the situation around. After a moment's consideration, Olaf makes a decisive call for Nathaniel to become the princess's consort. Nathaniel is shocked, reminding his father that marriage to the imperial family is forbidden to their house. Olaf explains that this is merely the temple's political calculation, not divine decree. What they should consider next is how to deal with the princess's fiancé, Duke Clarence. Olaf signals Nathaniel to give the princess the memory of that day preserved in the music box. Nathaniel is stunned, confirming his father means the Hyacinth records, forbidden by the imperial family. Olaf nods. Duke Clarence will be shocked as well, since everyone believed they were destroyed. In truth, this crucial record has been secretly preserved by the Bryan family all along. If the Duke learns of this, the Crimson Rose may have infiltrated his family. Olaf warns that they must prevent the Duke from discovering it directly. Better, he learns it from the princess herself. Nathaniel agrees wholeheartedly, reaching consensus with his father. Serena steps forward again, pleading with Ariana to handle the settlement tasks. Ariana can hardly believe it, complaining she's been working 5 straight hours without a break. At that moment, 2 maids knock and enter. They joke that they can clearly see the princess desperately needs assistance. One says that to help the princess, they've sneaked over specifically to provide support. The other gestures for the princess not to stare, saying the current pace is too slow, and she should hand the work over to them. Ariana is utterly shocked. It's Rainard and Jasper dressed as women. She insists weakly that she's fine, just exhausted from too many tasks. The maids feel quite fortunate their timing is perfect. They then escort the princess to prepare her solar ceremony gown, leaving the 2 of them to handle the documents. Ariana hurriedly thanks them and follows the maids out. Rainard speaks up, suggesting they start processing the documents immediately. He teases Jasper, saying his female attire is his masterpiece and looks rather fetching. Jasper, flushed with both embarrassment and anger, snaps that Rainard is talking nonsense. Across the way, Regina is watching their every move through a telescope. Seeing Jasper in women's clothing, she appears incredibly excited. An odd feeling rises in Ariana's heart, sensing someone is coveting what belongs to her. Rainard stretches and asks if they've finished processing all the documents. Jasper nods. Only the final settlement requires the princess's completion. Rainard suggests taking a short break, but Jasper insists they must deliver the documents to the palace study first. Regina hides in the shadows, taking in their every movement. Seizing her moment, Regina deliberately rushes out from the darkness. Jasper nimbly sidesteps her charge. Regina, off balance, falls flat on the ground in a humiliating heap. Rainard hurries over, asking with concern if she's all right. Regina lies on the ground, embarrassed and somewhat incoherent. Jasper reminds her to be more careful. Regina seems surprised at his words. The next second, His face shows complete impatience as he rebukes her disgraceful conduct as a stain on the family name. He turns and coldly urges Rainard to leave at once. Rainard politely bids Regina a brief farewell, indicating he'll take his leave. He also reminds her to be careful. Rainard hurries to catch up with Jasper, asking him to wait. He can't help but complain that Jasper should have at least helped Regina up. Jasper's face shows utter disdain as he retorts that Rainard wouldn't have done it either. Rainard sighs that he's truly cold-blooded. Hearing this, Jasper states bluntly he has no need to play along with such fake theatrics. He challenges Rainard, asking if he really couldn't tell she was faking. Rainard suddenly leans in close, admitting he saw through it long ago but worried Jasper's icy attitude might cause trouble. Jasper's expression instantly changes as he warns Rainard not to meddle and provoke his anger. He warns Rainard not to make gestures that invite misunderstanding. Regina stares at Jasper's retreating figure, her heart filled with frustration yet growing more obsessed. She's full of resentment, unable to understand why Jasper is so cold to her, her eyes flashing with intense possessiveness. Regina can no longer contain herself and decides to contact that person. The day of the solar ceremony arrives. Balthazar appears and unexpectedly attracts the attention of numerous young women. The girls exclaim in amazement that Prince Balthazar is so handsome. Balthazar feels somewhat uncomfortable, not understanding why simply letting down his bangs causes such a reaction. The Scarlet Lady's face shows utter disdain as she warns Balthazar these girls are completely unworthy of him. Balthazar nods obediently, silently listening to his mother's teachings. The Empress speaks up timely, criticizing the Scarlet Lady for treating Balthazar like a breeding tool. She reminds the Scarlet Lady that as a rose representing imperial authority and character, she should display proper conduct. The Scarlet Lady laughs dismissively, using the solar ceremony as a pretext to change the subject. With that, she walks away directly. Balthazar politely bows to the Empress. The Empress turns and calls to Balthazar. She sincerely praises him, saying the ceremonial robes suit him well. She extols him as comparable to Ethel, child of the gods in the heavenly court. The Scarlet Lady impatiently urges him on, complaining that Balthazar is moving too slowly. Balthazar quickly apologizes and hurries to catch up with the Scarlet Lady. As she walks, the Scarlet Lady instructs Balthazar to hurry and pay respects to the Emperor to make his presence known. Yet Balthazar secretly delights, savoring the Empress's praise repeatedly. Viscountess Adelaide softly reminds the Empress that distinguished guests from various nations have been arriving. The Empress nods calmly, indicating she's already aware. Crown Prince Carian and his consort from Solaria Kingdom appear first. Next comes second Prince Xiayun of Delansia Kingdom, King Rex Kimberlake of Glycia, and Legion Commander Miros Valent of Meritia, representing the Holy Knights. King of Glycia's purpose is obvious as he rushes before the Empress to seek Princess Ariana's hand in marriage. The Empress clicks her tongue in disbelief, not expecting such shamelessness, wondering where Ariana is at this moment. An attendant quickly responds, informing her the princess is preparing to receive the distinguished guests. The King of Glycia immediately steps forward with an ardent declaration, claiming he's been sleepless for nights longing to see her. Raynard, having had enough, grabs the King of Glycia by the ear and drags him away. Meanwhile, Crown Prince Carian's gaze follows Ariana intently. Crown Princess Talia, seeing this, covers her face with her hand in exasperation. The moment Ariana appears, Prince Carian is completely captivated by her beauty. Talia calls his name several times with no response. Ignis reminds him his sister-in-law is calling, and he finally snaps out of it, quipping that Ignis is pathetic. Ignis ignores him and politely asks his sister-in-law if all has been well lately. Talia smiles, saying it's been too long and welcoming Ignis's arrival. Carian suddenly feels a sharp pain in his shoulder and lets out a puzzled grunt. Ignis's gaze turns serious as he signals his brother to come with him. At this moment, Xiayun corners Bayuha in a side alley. Bayuha looks at Xiayun, his face full of shock. He asks in confusion why Xiayun would appear in Aurelia. Xiayun feigns hurt, reaching out to stroke Bayuehua's hair. He asks pointedly if seeing a long-absent friend doesn't make him happy. He deliberately calls Bayuehua the Snow-White Weasel. Xiayun looks Bayuehua up and down. He teases that spending time by the princess's side has made him even more adorable. Bayuehua doesn't respond, insisting on knowing Xiayun's true purpose for coming. Xiayun answers casually that he simply wanted to visit. As a second prince with no inheritance rights, there's nothing for him to do in the vast palace. He admits that after Bayuehua left, he realized that rather than being a political pawn coveted by ministers, he'd rather become Princess Ariana's, which would also make him a card in the Crown Prince's hand. Bayuehua is utterly confused. Xiayun explains that at the Silver Moon ceremony, their father announced his abdication and passed the throne to the Crown Prince. He thoughtfully adds that their father isn't ill, just advanced in years and wishing to retire. So, the Crown Prince is currently busy, and Brother Chenxi doesn't wish to see Bayuehua, naturally refusing to come. Of those remaining, only he was left, though the Crown Prince also indicated he'll attend the solar ceremony. But he told Mother he missed Bayuehua so much he couldn't eat or sleep, so she worried and let him come as a guest. Bayuha is quite angry, reminding Yueying that mother would be furious if she knew his real aim was the princess. Yet Yueying defends himself, saying he didn't lie. He does want to leave the palace and truly missed his friend. He speaks with an aggrieved expression about how the palace without Bayuha feels unbearably lonely. As they converse, sounds in the distance signal that the solar ceremony has begun. Bayuha seizes the opportunity, reminding Yueying that as a distinguished guest, he's been away from his seat too long. Yueying chuckles softly in agreement. Before leaving, he doesn't forget to promise another meeting, still calling him the Snow White Weasel. Horn blasts echo one after another, resounding through the sky, announcing the solar ceremony's official commencement. The assembled crowds cry out in awe. The horn sounds are magnificent, carrying all the way to Glycia, Meritia, Solaria, Delansia, and beyond as people emerge to observe the occasion. Ariana, dressed in magnificent robes, slowly ascends the sacrificial platform. She reaches out and gently grasps the Empress's hand, both mother and daughter beaming with joy. The Scarlet Lady, however, finds it all dreadfully boring, yawning repeatedly in stark contrast to Serena and her children. Ariana raises the sacred flame high, preparing to bestow divine blessings. The crowd below watches the stage with anticipation. They cry out in wonder. Meanwhile, Jasper appears alone in a secluded alley. He's chasing something, breathing heavily. He seems to be guided by a peculiar scent. At the same time, the ceremony's most crucial step begins. A maid places willow branches blessed with divine grace into Ariana's hands. The onlooking citizens are amazed that the Lightbearer's blessings can spread beyond the temple grounds. This is the first time they've witnessed such a magnificent and wondrous blessing. The people raise their arms and cheer for Princess Ariana. The Emperor and Empress watch their daughter's performance, applauding with pride written across their faces. Balthazar watches Ariana's powerful divine abilities, feeling inferior as he laments the god's cruelty and unfairness. Seeing this, the Scarlet Lady softly signals Prince Balthazar to lift his head, her tone laden with meaning. She speaks slowly, warning Balthazar that the higher one stands, the easier it is to fall into the abyss. With these words, she reveals a sinister smile. She slowly closes the fan in her hand. The next second, countless ferocious magical beasts suddenly descend from the sky, charging toward the ceremonial grounds. The crowd cries out in terror at this sudden turn of events, and chaos erupts. Hours earlier, at the temple's perimeter, 4 cloaked mysterious figures quietly activate a sinister formation. Position 487-52 requests permission to activate the Beast Array. Position 785-B grants permission. The Beast Array will now activate. The formation is officially activated, and dark energy begins rapidly gathering. The terrifying aura of magical beasts grows increasingly intense, sweeping across Aurelia. The High Priest, the King, and Nathaniel sense the anomaly, their faces showing shock. Ariana's eyes instantly become vigilant, though inwardly she panics at the sudden change. Ignis's gaze sharpens as he swiftly switches into combat mode. Rainard and Bayuha, seeing this, also show expressions of surprise. The foreign envoys are equally astonished, never expecting such an incident at the solar ceremony. The beasts swing their sharp claws, lunging at the citizens. The scene descends into complete chaos. The Scarlet Lady watches this scene with satisfaction. This is the destruction she desired. She curses Roselith and her daughter with bitter hatred, wishing them to hell. The beasts appear suddenly, throwing everyone present into instant panic. People flee in all directions, desperately crying for help. Ariana wonders why this is suddenly happening. The High Priest analyzes that someone exploited a void rift in summoning magic, allowing beasts to escape and breach the temple's barrier. The temple barrier is only repaired during the star generation transitions. Clearly, someone identified its weakened state. Moreover, with the 3rd star Alexander currently vacant, their purpose is obvious. The Emperor angrily speculates whether this is the work of the heretical Shadow Sect. At that moment, a beast flies straight toward the Empress. The Emperor cries out in terror for Roselith, and Ariana immediately rushes forward. She prays to be cloaked in sacred starlight under divine summons. Facing enemies who defy divine will, she unleashes tremendous power, revealing the brilliance of Polaris. Ariana strikes decisively, successfully slaying the beast charging at the Empress. She then anxiously asks if she's all right. The Emperor frantically calls for Empress Roselith, pulling her into his arms in relief. The Empress responds softly, feeling a long absence stirring in her heart. The number of beasts continues to multiply, and the situation grows increasingly dire. Seeing this, the Emperor's heart tightens. He solemnly instructs Ariana that she must prioritize protecting her mother. He says he'll go rescue the children, as well as Veronica and Cordelia. The Emperor tenderly addresses Roselith, swearing that she has always been his most beloved. But as the family's head, he must protect his entire household, and begs Roselith's understanding. Roselith reluctantly compromises and agrees to the Emperor's request. Before leaving, the Emperor entrusts his youngest daughter, Ariana, asking her to take care of his most beloved Roselith. Ariana solemnly promises her father she'll protect the Empress. With that, the Emperor immediately rushes to the battlefield. Ariana instructs the Empress to stay close by her side. The beasts are still attacking relentlessly, and everyone on the field fights desperately to resist. The foreign envoys also give their all, helping to slay the beasts with all their might. A beast suddenly turns and charges at Crown Princess Talia. Talia's face shows complete disdain as she swats the beast away with a single palm strike. Carrion's heart is filled with favoritism toward Ariana, finding her endearingly delicate. He truly cannot comprehend why his wife has to be such a violently formidable woman. Meanwhile, Ariana is constantly slaying the seemingly endless beasts. Rainard and Bayuha rush over urgently, calling out to her highness. After confirming that Bayuha and Rainard are safe, Ariana breathes a sigh of relief. Seeing Rainard's side empty, she anxiously asks about Jasper's whereabouts. The two are usually inseparable. Rainard isn't sure either, vaguely saying it's a long story. Ariana, helpless, says she's fine for now and asks the two to escort the Empress to safety. Rainard respectfully asks the Empress to come with them, but she's worried about her daughter. She cries out for little Star, saying she's already lost Ares and cannot lose her too. She calls her daughter's name heart-wrenchingly. Ariana still stands firm atop the city wall. She apologizes guiltily to the Empress, then resolutely summons Nathaniel. Nathaniel transforms into the Mount size most common to the Bryan clan, ready to follow orders. He reports to Ariana that he's ordered the army to track the beast's source and rescue civilians. Miros, Prince Yueying, and Crown Princess Talia also step forward. The visible number of beasts is approximately 50 to 60. Ariana asks about Ignis. Nathaniel informs her he immediately mobilized troops to help civilians evacuate and is fighting fiercely. Ignis stands before the temple roaring, vowing to protect the honor and glory of the sun god's descendants. He rallies the soldiers to crush all the beasts, saying they have the sun god's protection and will surely prevail. Ignis moves swiftly, slaying with one sword strike the beast about to attack a mother and daughter. Ariana silently admires him, truly a battle-tested veteran, utterly dependable. Ariana asks about Cordelia and Serena. Nathaniel replies that both are doing their utmost to help evacuate civilians and maintain order. A loud crash sounds as a beast smashes through a nearby pillar. A mother falls accidentally, crying out in panic for help. The child bursts into tears, sobbing for their mother. In the nick of time, Ariana arrives riding Nathaniel. The mother thanks Ariana and Nathaniel repeatedly. Ariana urges them to hurry to safety. Balthazar fights the beasts alone on the battlefield. Gradually his strength fails, and he struggles visibly. Just as he's about to collapse, Ariana arrives in time. She completely slays the beast. His heart fills with frustration. He can't help but wonder if he truly can never match Ariana. While he's distracted, a beast silently attacks from behind. By the time Balthazar realizes it, it's too late to dodge. At the critical moment, Ariana severs the beast's head with one sword strike. Ariana asks with concern if Balthazar is all right, while also inquiring about the Emperor and others' whereabouts. Balthazar stubbornly insists he can manage and doesn't need her protection. Ariana retorts irritably that if they weren't siblings, she'd have abandoned him long ago. She takes out a new sword and hands it to Balthazar, saying it's a birthday gift she prepared in advance. This sword is better than his old one. She tells him to take it quickly. She decides to advance southward, leaving the northern battlefield to Balthazar. Nathaniel asks worriedly if he'll really be alright. Ariana firmly states that if he couldn't handle it, he'd be dead already. Sensing Ariana's troubled emotions, Nathaniel asks with concern what's on her mind. Ariana expresses her deep worry that she can't find any trace of Jasper. She can't even sense Jasper's cool magic, and her heart is filled with unease. Ariana silently prays in her heart that Jasper must be safe. Jasper lies on the ground, coughing painfully, unable to move his body. The person across from him laughs triumphantly. Using rose seed as bait, the blue cat took the hook as expected. It seems that person was right after all. Watching Jasper's unwilling eyes, Regina's laughter carries a sickly delight. She tells him that the alluring fruit left after the crimson rose withers is the rose seed he seeks. In that guide's words, this is called the dream fruit, but to the world it's a forbidden narcotic. She's been consuming this fruit these past few days. Her long-cherished dream as Rosalind Yangborn is slowly becoming reality. She calls to Jasper obsessively, declaring she's ready to become his. She'll possess Jasper completely in a corner Princess Ariana cannot reach. Regina states fervently that all of this was carefully prepared by that person for them. Jasper cries out for help with all his remaining strength. Even with just a thread of hope, he refuses to give up. His consciousness gradually blurs as Ariana's silhouette replays in his mind. He repeats desperately in his thoughts, even if it's her, if only her, as long as someone can save him. Jasper pleads desperately in his heart. Princess Ariana, please save me! Ariana asks with concern if Nathaniel is injured. Nathaniel smiles and responds that he's fine. Nathaniel's gesture makes Ariana chuckle softly, complaining his touch tickles. She sincerely thanks Nathaniel for his efforts, but he says it's all his willing choice. Ariana breathes a sigh of relief. Everyone has evacuated in time, and there are no casualties. Seeing Ariana's expression change, Nathaniel asks with concern what's wrong. Ariana's heart fills with guilt as she blames herself for still not finding Jasper. It was her selfishness that brought Jasper here, yet she failed in her responsibility to protect him. Jasper had asked Ariana to respect his wish to remain chaste before marriage. Ariana readily agreed, saying frankly that such a small matter was nothing, but she made a condition. She hoped to sit beside Jasper and watch him closely. She also hoped for small physical contact like touching Jasper's face or holding his hand. She regrets immensely that she should have immediately searched for Jasper, yet now can't find even a trace. Ignis arrives with a tone seeking credit, wanting to demonstrate his loyalty to Ariana. Ariana asks restlessly if he's seen Jasper. Ignis responds petulantly that he hasn't seen that blue-haired fellow. Raynard hurries over, and Ariana immediately asks about the Empress's condition. Raynard informs her that he's safely escorted the Empress back to the palace, and Yuehua stayed to accompany her so she can rest assured. Ariana breathes a sigh of relief and sincerely thanks Raynard. Raynard says it's his duty, then immediately asks about Jasper. Ariana says helplessly that she doesn't know. Ignis also said he hasn't seen him. Raynard is puzzled. Ignis has Hawk's vision and should have grasped the general situation from the air. Alvin, vice captain of the Achilles Brigade, adds that while guiding people to safety, he saw Jasper run toward a certain corridor. Lord Ignis should have seen it too. His silence must have some reason. Ariana turns to Ignis, asking in confusion why he didn't tell her. Ignis responds stiffly that he didn't think it necessary to mention. Ariana softens her tone, saying that even if it were him missing instead of Jasper, she'd be equally worried. She hopes Ignis can get along harmoniously with the other jewels, because they're all incredibly precious to her. After pacifying him, Ariana states gravely that they must find Jasper quickly. Ignis volunteers to take charge of the cleanup efforts on site. Everyone rushes at full speed to the corridor where Jasper disappeared. Nathaniel suddenly cries out, his expression turning grim. Ariana quickly asks what's wrong. Nathaniel frowns as he explains that the soul scent drifting from a head is terribly foul, like toxic gas. Though the scent isn't obvious, it's mixed with lingering traces of rose seed. Hearing the words, rose seed, Ariana's pupils contract instantly as she rushes forward. Everyone's hearts tighten as they hurry after her. Ariana pushes open the door without hesitation. After seeing the scene inside clearly, she's completely frozen. She trembles, unable to believe her eyes. Jasper! Ariana's heart fills with disbelief as she freezes instantly in place. On the floor, a blue-haired man lies covered in wounds, naked. The sight is unbearable. Ariana breaks down, calling Jasper's name over and over, unable to accept the scene before her. Raynard, however, stares thoughtfully at the man on the ground, falling into contemplation. He suddenly calls out to Ariana and, under her puzzled gaze, crouches down. Without much explanation, Raynard moves forward and tears open the clothing on the body. He examines the wounds on the corpse carefully. Then he lifts the corpse's pant leg, checking the residual magic on it. Ariana watches his series of actions in confusion throughout, her mind full of questions. Raynard finally speaks, his tone serious as he reveals the crucial discovery to Ariana. He informs Ariana that the body on the ground is not Jasper. Ariana instantly breathes a sigh of relief, exclaiming in excitement. Raynard explains that the wounds on the corpse were inflicted post-mortem, clearly fabricated by magic. He points to a spot on the corpse, reminding Ariana that traces of residual magic are faintly visible there. Raynard analyzes that the culprit clearly left a strong scent with magic deliberately to guard against Nathaniel. He states somewhat mockingly that the culprit prepared thoroughly, but failed to guard against him. And most crucially, the corpse's build differs from Jasper's. Jasper swims regularly. His shoulder muscles are robust and developed, completely unlike the corpse. Ariana is curious how Raynard knows Jasper swims and is familiar with his physique. Raynard says casually he's touched him before, so he knows his muscle condition. Ariana's mind instantly conjures up images of their interactions, feeling completely unbalanced. She hasn't even touched him. Raynard decisively proposes tracking Jasper's whereabouts immediately. He turns to Nathaniel, asking if he can pick up the soul scent remaining on the corpse. Ariana also urgently pleads with Nathaniel, hoping he can help find Jasper's whereabouts. Nathaniel immediately understands and transforms into his true form. He approaches the corpse and sniffs carefully. He focuses intently on distinguishing the complex scents on the corpse, trying to find clues. He senses the trapped Jasper calling out desperately in his heart, "Help." Nathaniel quickly makes a discovery, saying he can track immediately. Hearing this, Ariana immediately orders them to depart and rescue Jasper. Nathaniel can't help but praise Raynard, saying he's excellent at staying composed and taking control in critical moments. Raynard modestly brushes it off as nothing. He indicates it's inconvenient to state openly before the princess, but the culprit clearly planned this in advance, waiting for the chance to kidnap Jasper. He turns to Nathaniel, asking if he sensed anything wrong. Nathaniel points out the distinctive scent of rose seed poisoning. The poisoning symptoms are severe. Even the soul has been contaminated. Raynard curses under his breath, hoping their action isn't too late. At this moment, in an unfamiliar place, Jasper slowly opens his eyes. His consciousness gradually clears, though he's uncertain where he is. The room is filled with an intensely strong fragrance. Jasper lies on a large bed. He struggles and discovers his body still cannot move. The next second, someone sits beside him. Jasper looks up. Regina's face shows crazed joy. excited that they can finally be alone together. She approaches Jasper step by step. She straddles his legs in an extremely intimate position. Jasper curses inwardly, desperately wanting to escape, but no matter how anxious he feels, his body refuses to obey. Regina places her hand on Jasper's chest, her eyes obsessed and crazed. She can't believe the person before her is truly Jasper. This is really Jasper Marino. She's so excited she becomes incoherent. Regina laughs eerily, saying from now on she no longer needs the drugs. She looks at the immobilized Jasper, laughing smugly. Regina reveals that the paralytic used on Jasper was given by that person. This drug paralyzes while keeping one conscious, so he can deeply feel her love. Regina ignores his resistance, talking to herself about letting him feel her warmth. Jasper cries out desperately in his mind, begging Regina not to touch him anymore. Regina immerses herself in her fantasies, praising Jasper's charm and wanting to be with him forever. Jasper feels utterly desperate, only able to curse inwardly, unable to do anything. A strange sound suddenly echoes. Jasper freezes. This doesn't seem like an ordinary explosion. Regina thinks it's the servants and rebukes them not to interfere. Before Regina can finish, Ariana rushes forward and knocks her down with one punch. Regina falls to the ground, trembling all over, in too much pain to speak coherently. Jasper looks at the suddenly appearing Ariana, his eyes full of relief at being rescued. Ariana stares at Regina on the ground, her tone icy, saying she dared to touch her jewel. It seems she doesn't want to live. Rainard follows in, frowning the moment he enters at the scent, saying it's too strong. Nathaniel apologizes to Ariana, saying the smell is unbearable and he must temporarily withdraw. Before leaving, he warns Ariana that this intense rotting rose scent is no simple matter. Ariana interrogates Regina on the ground, asking if she's connected to the rose seed producer. This is definitely not something she could accomplish alone. Regina glares at Ariana furiously, her eyes vicious. She strikes the ground with her hand. The next second, she bursts into laughter, shrieking that Ariana will regret destroying her happiness. Ariana sees Regina about to flee and shouts sternly for her to stop, preparing to give chase. Rainard quickly stops her, saying he's already destroyed the magic circle. Regina can't get far. Regina seeds through gritted teeth that she absolutely won't give up. Her heart fills with venomous resentment. She must take Jasper back from Ariana's side. It's all that damned woman's fault for ruining everything. She'll make her pay the price.